clobbering time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
It's clobbering time! Clobberonimo!
Greetings, clobberers, clobberonimos, clobberettes, clobberoids, clobberooskies, and clobberers all out through the universe. And the secret is to everyone else. Bang the rocks together, guys.
Clobberonimo!
Yeah, my favorite sounds in the world right there. But coming from my favorite person in the world, so in the universe, actually. In Starfleet.
I love you. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Number
Pretty
one.
good. Pretty good.
It is so great to have you here. So great to see you. And so great to see all of our wonderful friends popping in. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Look at all of our great friends in there. Popping into that chat.
Good evening, everyone.
Never let me down. I swear. You make my week, all of you.
I love it when they're all in character in perfect 735 LARPing mode.
Yes.
It's incredible. Like, Steve is like, officers on the bridge. Smilex is like, the whistly thing. And just everyone getting into that LARPing mode. It's in true Trekkie fashion. It not only is it impressive, but it always makes my heart smile. I love this room full of these marvelous people.
We have a question coming from way outside that Ellie, you probably know the answer to. What is the name of the theme song to tonight's show anyway? If there is is there a name to it? I don't even know.
Let's find out.
If you don't know, find out later. But
I think I probably have it in my notes.
You can probably tell everybody where it's from or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's not not a big deal. Anyway, great to see you all here tonight, folks. Welcome to Saturday Night Star Trek number. Clobbering Times number 616. Clobbering on YouTube number 1,316 overall, of course, and Saturday Night Star Trek number 128. And we are just so happy to see all of you here with us tonight. Found it?
I am just drawing that up right now.
No problem. It's no big deal. We'll find it later. Not a problem, though. We had a friend of ours asking out there who was listening who was watching. Watching on the whose name
it's actually a really good question, because if you're looking at all of the typical coverage of Star Trek, it's just going to say Voyager theme, right? So I've just gone to the list of composers right now, and I'm going to find out the proper name.
This friend has a different name on Facebook than usually puts in the chat. So which one do we? Tell me which one you want me to call you by, because I always forget which one you go by on the YouTubes. I'm bad like that because I'm old and senile. Even though I know you're out there watching on the TV, which is a good way to watch.
Guys, it doesn't say. It's just the Voyager theme.
It's a what theme?
It's just the Voyager theme.
That's not the Voyager theme.
You're talking about our show?
Yeah, I'm talking about you're the one you have.
Oh gosh, yes, that's what's his dinkle? Hold on, I can get that for you right now. Jeez, I was like, I thought you guys were looking for what the composer calls Voyager. Jeez, Jiminy Crickets here. Hold on, just let me go get that. It's actually listed in the show notes each and every time as a part of the provisioning of the new YouTube platform. But I can go get it right now. I can go get it, and you can have it. You can get it. You can have it. Let's just get right here. It should be listed in the doohickey. I also have it in my files, but it should be listed because that's what they want it to do now to keep everything copyright compliant.
Yes.
Yeah, they auto-generate it now.
Well, my friend that was asking me that on from the YouTube thing was just I forget which one you use when you're on YouTube. So I'll just call you my buddy Fairfax. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I know that the name of the composition is Saving the World. I know that it is in the public domain, but I can't. Is it? I think it's Alan something. Anyways, it's not coming up here. I think they only post it after the show is done. So sorry, everyone.
Yeah, let's get later.
But it's called Saving the World. It's in the public domain, and it is written by a major composer. He has also done one that sort of sounds like it's an homage to Star Wars as well. I have that tucked in my back pocket in case Clobby ever asked me to do something Star Wars related. So I actually have all of his compositions tucked away in my files in case Clobby ever needs that particular theme. But yeah, I'll get the name out on my Twitter later. But Saving the World in the public domain.
Well, there you go. Now we got that out of there. Let's see here. All right, my friends. Let's get down to beeswax. Number one in the opening. Please start with any opening words you may have, and then we'll get a rolling.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I sound like a nincompoop tonight, folks. I have a bit of a stomach ache, so I'm not myself. So if I'm a little bit subdued, just realize that it's just because I have a bit of tummy ache. I think I ate something that wasn't so good. Good evening and welcome to Clobberin Times. Welcome to Saturday Night Star Trek. Welcome to Clobberin Treks. We are so happy that you are here. We are so happy to host you. We are looking forward to all of your marvelous conversations, your ideas, your opinions, your friendship. This is the best crowd ever. I'm waving to everyone, and I want to say thank you to the Wrenches for showing up tonight to help us keep the community running efficiently tonight. Thank you so much for that. I also want to give a little bit of a shout out. I'm a professional author, and I've published a book, but right now corporations aren't really looking for episodic science fiction. They're really, really looking for activism in authorship, and that's not something I do. I just do classic science fiction. So a bunch of people in the community have stepped forward to help me start a Patreon to help promote my work. And so I have a second book coming out, and 16 marvelous human beings and their families have stepped forward to help me get that book published. And they are Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shuta, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K, and my magnificent pepperoni Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C and his amazing family, Anti-Derivative Gel, Maximum Redstone, JT Cook, Dadman and the Dadman clan, and of course Lord and Lady Thoth and their marvelous pepperoni, our very own Porthos, Sir Lanza Thoth. No, actually, it's just Lance. It's Lancelot, actually. Chuck him some cheese. And last but certainly not least, hello, Captain. Reporting for duty. Let's have a heck of a good time tonight. I love ya.
I love you. Great to have you here. Let's see. See, my memory is even worse than usual tonight for some reason, folks. But I'm going to try to get it. I'm going to try to get it back on track. We'll see how that goes. I don't know what's wrong with it. Not like I'm tired or anything. I can't be. I haven't done anything all day. Oh, there you go. Always forget. When you haven't done much, that's when you're really tired, right? Okay. So, where are we? Let's do some show notes and shout outs, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it for some clobbering happening here. First of all, show notes. Let's see. What is it? Okay. Tomorrow night, hopefully, the great Mark D with a C and the chief engineer should pop in and hang with us later, we hope. He'll be on the Sunday Night Geekery on his great channel. Please, if you have not subscribed to that, there's links all over the place for that. And his show, Sunday nights for the Geekery. I try to go hang out with him all the time. And it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern for that great show. Then Monday night, the J-Man and the Sean Man. I'll be at J-Man's wonderful channel, hanging out with my buddies, chronicling every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes from beginning in 1958 to the real end, as declared by me. The only opinion that matters on that subject, 1988. So got all the way silver through bronze for that one. That's on that 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. Then I'll do some Monday night Mark C Comics Talk. I don't know what, but it'll be some talk. And of course, the regular shows throughout the week, some wild card Wednesday night Globby's Clubhouse with Mark and Raquel, and then so on and so forth. We'll in Saturday Star Trek. Also on what was it? Also, I will be also I will be on Midnight's Edge After Dark, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. I try to be on there and them, and then Loki's Comic Book Roundtable on Wednesday nights, and our great buddy Nick Weiser's Friday night comic shop talk as well. So, well, I'm all over the place 7 days a week of the streaming.
Rolling. Keep that clobby rolling. Clob hide.
More like
stream. I stream all week. And every night I wake up in the middle. It's a fright wherever I'm going. All I know to do is stream. Sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.
No, it's terrific.
Why make you suffer my pain?
No,
all right,
you're cheering me up immensely. I don't feel well, and suddenly I feel terrific whenever I'm around you. And that is a hysterical little theme song you've developed there. I love it.
Right back at you. Love you. So let us start with our shout outs, folks. What we do is we shout out our wrenches, and then our wonderful friends who are here with us. We take our time in doing that because you're so important to us. But let me I'll speed it up a little bit, but it takes a bit to do it. So of course there's the great Eric K, LeBron's wrencher.
Evening, baby. Nice to see you.
Good to see you there, buddy. I don't know if he's here with us, but he's always gets to shout out anyway. Is he here? The great Chris Persia, Vindicated Wrench of the Great White North. I know he made some posters, but whether he's here or not, shout out to you, buddy. We miss you, and we appreciate you and all you do.
My Twitter is acting really weird, so I actually had to go and look for the beautiful show poster he made tonight. I absolutely hate Twitter right now. Chris Persia, thank you for using your social media to promote one of my best friends in the whole world. I love you for that. You're so loyal and so kind, and I love your beautiful show posters. Thank you for taking time out of your day to make something beautiful in representation of this channel and this show and Clubby's other shows. You're a sweetheart of a man, and I love you very much. Mwah.
You're the man. T. Bud Martin, the great wrench of iron, had a lot of fun hanging out with you, buddy. I don't think he's here tonight, but hanging out with him last night on Nick's show, reviewing some Spider-Man comics. Great fellow. Of course, he is the Mountie himself. He is the God of wrenches, the great Lord Thoth. Avon lives. Long live the Legion, buddy. And shout out to the lovely goddess of wrenches, the Lady Thoth. Good to see you here, buddy. Always a pleasure. My partner in crime on Earth, B, Legionnaire Reviewer Extraordinaire, and of course, the wrench without fear, the great J-Man.
J-Man!
Gasp, choke. He is the master of the Clawboning comic artist supreme, of course. Hungry boy.
HP.
Super Wrench Supreme, Cal L, our old buddy.
Real soup.
All right, the real soup indeed. And there's, of course, Maddie's daddy, Rio de la Vinci Mjolnir.
Hey, sweetheart. Vegas. Yeah, Thor in Vegas is right.
That rascally old wrench himself, Fanty Outsider-y.
Fanty!
And Clobberin Time's own Music Meister, Maximum Red Stew. So let me see who is up in here already. Make sure I got everybody written down before we start rolling with them. Let me see. C for Catwoman. Okay, a couple now got some super
C
chats.
For Catwoman?
It's an old joke.
Okay, hold on.
It's a Batman. What do you?
Just C for Catwoman. Wait.
There you go. Oh, see.
There you are.
It's a C for Catwoman. Joke. Thank you. We love Catwoman. Eric K, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Says Clobby, another 13,684, and you can retire. That's reassuring, buddy. And hey, Scuba Pete, love you all. He says, right back at you and the wonderful Leslie. You rock, brother.
Love you too. Love you both. Sending hugs to both of you.
You the man. Now I'm gonna start shouting out. Here, let's see here. Where we at? Okay. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge.
Hey, the judge. Good evening.
Hey, buddy. Good to see you. All right. Shooter's here.
Pew, 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 pew.
Indeed. Our great friends, the Felicianos, Raymond and Sandra. I hope things are going well for you all.
It's King Dolphin TV.
In color. And I think Raymond's doing a big signing or something soon, I've noticed. Ooh. I think he mentioned at signing some books at some event, I believe. If you've got to put any info on that, Ray.
Nice. Congratulations.
Feel free indeed. Yes, indeed. Michael Beacom. What's up, brother?
Michael and Cassandra Beacom.
Yes, shout out to the lovely Cassandra. Good to see you there, old Kimasabi. Hello, Smilex. What you say there?
Our adopted child.
Yes, we love you. Good to see you. Classic Comics popped in. What's up, CC? Good to see you.
CC.
Yes. Penny. Hey, Penny. Good to see you.
Hey, beautiful.
All right. Yeah, always great to see you pop in. So there's Penny, folks. I hope you are doing well tonight. Let's see here. Simply Steve. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
All right. Know who you are.
Salutes.
Bubba Doom 1. Hey.
Bubba Doom.
All right. Sean Carter from
Mars.
Mr. Angel. Hey, Chef. I hope you are doing well, feeling well, and shout out to all that are helping you out, whether you're at home or where you're staying now. I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Nice to see you, Chef.
Yes. All righty then. Where were I? Oh, Kadoki. Where were? Oh, okay. Paul Listro. Welcome, welcome.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, indeed. SP4H.
Hey.
Polyme's Minion, and how's the pupper? I hope the pupper's doing well, my dear.
The pepperoni, the pepperoni.
That's how we do it, show notice. Bop, 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 bop. Turing machine.
Hey, Alan Turing's here.
Indeed. Cardinal Sin. Gil, what's up, dude?
Cardi.
Cardi. Victor Fontaine.
Hey, Vic, nice to see you.
Good to see you, Vic. Lenrod.
Hot Rod.
Lovely Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Lisa.
Yep.
She's been working her butt off lately in the garden. You should see her garden. It's absolutely, it's I would almost use the word epic at this point. Anyway, keep going, boss.
Parker Luck.
Hey, Parker.
The great JT Kirok.
I am Kirok. JT Kirok.
Fiona. Hey.
Evening, Fiona. Little curtsy to you.
Evening, indeed. The great aforementioned Scuba Pete, and they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of Ramba Beach. When he plays the maracas, he goes chick, chicky boom, chick, chicky boom. Bop, bop, bop.
Scuba Pete!
FKHC, my friend.
Good evening.
Out there watching on the TV. Keely Chow, roll the tide.
Ooh, tide.
Jeff Morris, welcome.
Good evening, Jeff.
Rob Altus, buddy. Good to see you, man.
Rob.
Zach Russ is here.
Crap.
The Warrior of Justice.
Ooh, nice to see you.
Robert Anderson, hello there.
Hello, Robert Anderson, and thank you for the wonderful compliment. That was very kind of you.
Indeedishness. That's all I have so far. Anyone else who pops in, as always, will be shouted out accordingly. What we're going to do now is get down to the beeswax. And we have 4 episodes, so we're going to try to make as good a time as we can. I would ask my dear friends to keep reviews. If you could keep them at the 5 range, I truly would appreciate it. It would help us so much. Last week we only had the pilot to speak on, so the longer ones were okay. Still, we had tons of them, so we need to get through kind of quick. If you could keep what you have to say to the 5, I'd appreciate it. 1 over maybe. Like if you feel you must have a 6 in you, that's okay. But I'm asking for a little bit of restraint only because there's so many of us. Wow. Lord Thoth gave his already. I'm going to save that. LT, I'll save that. We'll read yours every time. I think you're a little harsh, my friend. My goodness.
Oh, boy.
So here's what we do here, folks. For those who don't know, and I want to thank everyone in lurk mode. All of you lurkers out there, thank you so much. And anyone watching later on a download or a repeat, thank you. You mean so much to us. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. And
do that.
We really just thank you so much for being here. That's the bottom.
And shout out to
yep, and our favorite lurker.
Hey, Mark Seth just walked through the door.
Hey, Mark Seth, what is up there? Oh man, I looked right at you there and didn't. Good to see you. All right. So thank you, Cardinal Sin, buddy, for the super chat. He says, my favorite Saturday night YouTube show. Hail to the panel, the mods, and the chat. Have a great show. I'm on my phone, so can't say individual hellos.
That's okay.
Well, that's all right.
That's okay, sweetheart. Just thank you for being here. And everyone, don't forget to follow Cardinal Sin.
Yeah. Please, of course, go to his channel and everything. And good to see you there, Cardi. Hello. Shout out hello from Cardi to everyone in the chat. Let's see, where were I? So what we do here, folks, if you're new here or just catching us, since January, the first week in January of 2021, we have taken on this oh my goodness, what could you say? This foolhardy mission to review all of real Star Trek, and of course that means only the only Star Trek that matters or counts, that is from 1966 to 2005.
That's it.
And that's it. The 735 Club, as dubbed by my wonderful first officer.
Dunsicles. That's it.
And after that, it's over. The only Trek that matters. And so we started with the original series, moved on to the animated series, the original crew films, Star Trek The Next Generation, the TNG films, and then we've just finished, just 2 weeks ago, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, reviewing all of it. And now, this past week, last week we started with the pilot to Star Trek Voyager. Now that we're out through those preliminaries, we will do 4, throughout the course of a regular season, we review 4 each week, 4 episodes each week. So we have 4 for you tonight. We have a reference guide. We'll be using that tonight, right?
Yeah, we've got 2 of them. So I think that there are 2 books that qualify to be decent ways to get your information, as long as you're not getting it from Memory Alpha. Memory Alpha used to be a haven for nerds and geeks, and the information there used to be, golden. But now it's a cesspool, and I wouldn't rely on that information. And of course, IMDb is just ridiculous. It's terrible. I would say about 80% of the time, the things I read there are complete horse poop, complete. So you don't want to be going there either. It's really good to pick up a book if you want to know any of the behind the scenes production information, what went on with the writing. It's best to get a vetted book and one that includes original source material. And that's quite vital because there are lots of rumors and memoirs and wishful thinking in Star Trek, and lots of cons where people built up these legends that don't even remotely resemble reality. So there are 2 books, one that the boss just showed you. Tonight we're going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek Voyager Companion by Paul Reditis.
That book right there.
Yeah, and
hey, Bush Pan Downs here. Hey.
And then there was another text.
Thank you, Warrior of Justice, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. Says, where did the board go to eat? Burger King. I had to. Oh my goodness. What did they order? Never mind. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't want to do it. Thank you, Warrior of Justice.
Oh my goodness, Apollonie's minion. That's so wonderful. You don't have to do that. Thank you so much. You're so talented, and that's so wonderful.
What's that? Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's still working on that beadwork. It's pretty incredible stuff.
Oh, amazing.
So that's
down. Thank you.
So we're going to be working from Star Trek Voyager Companion, but there is another one called Voyager: A Celebration, and both of these books are decent. I've gone through excerpts of both. I've looked at the material. I've looked at the reviews, and definitely here you're looking at original source material that is based on the production, the professional production. This is both books are licensed. They're authorized, and there is very little of the "I was the first Ferengi" and other wishful thinking like that. So pick up either or. You're good to go either or.
There you go. All right. Well, that's one. So our first episode of the evening is called Parallax, right?
Sure is.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Parallax. This is season 1, episode 3 officially, but so this is the official number of episodes. But it's important to know that with the advent of streaming,
Larry's here.
Larry.
Is
he?
Hey,
Larry.
Someone is saying his name in the chat, so
looks like he bought people stuff.
Oh, Larry,
memberships again.
Oh, thank you, Larry. See, I can't see the name, but that doesn't mean anything. Everyone can see it in the other side, right?
Larry is always buying people memberships here. He's trying to build our community.
Thank you, Larry.
He's so sweet.
What a good friend. You're
a man so nice. You should say his name twice. Well, perhaps thrice. Larry.
I say it as many times as I can because he's such a good friend. Larry, thank you, buddy. I couldn't see it until I saw someone mentioning your name. So if you're out there, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt you, number one.
No, that's okay, boss. No problem at all. You know I love Larry. Larry is a good friend of mine. So it's nice to know that he's here, and definitely want to shout out when he's buying others memberships. What a sweetheart.
Yes, very kind of you.
Oh, Chef just said that Shooter also bought memberships.
Okay.
This is the thing with StreamYard that I don't like. I wish that we could see that stuff, and thank you so much for letting us know. You guys are the best. So Shooter,
thank you, Shooter. That's right, Shooter. They don't look. For example, I don't understand it. For example, we don't see a super chat. I mean, when we do see a super chatter, we see we don't see a super sticker. We just see that there's one. They don't show us what it looks like. We don't see emojis, and for some reason, it never doesn't tell us if anyone gives a membership. It's just crazy. But thank you so much, Shooter.
Yeah, it's quite nuts. Oh, look at this. Larry and Shooter are going way overboard.
Thanks, Eric.
My goodness, 10 memberships. You guys.
Oh my goodness.
You guys, I love you so much. Thank you for doing this for Clobby. I love them so much, and it means the world to me. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much,
yeah, as I was saying, with the advent of streaming, okay, the official numbers have been thrown off. Okay, the 735 still holds, but when you're seeing these things, the way they bust up the episodes, the way some of the streaming services bust up and smoosh together the episodes, sometimes they're marked wrong. So if you are outside of the USA, it is likely that this is marked episode 2 on your streaming service. But that's okay. We know how to get around that just by telling you that this is production code 103. And it first aired on January 23rd, 1995. Now, about 3 seconds before the show, I was sent these excerpts from the companion book. I have not pre-read them. You should all know that this is an entirely organic show. That is correct. If you were new around here, Clobby and I don't discuss the articles. We don't pre-read anything. We don't discuss the episodes. We don't talk about our ratings. It all happens live. So I'm going to definitely be reading extemporaneously. That means I haven't practiced it or even read it over. So be kind. But the good news is this is from a decent text. So it should be quite good. Let's do it.
Sorry to do it to you again, but it looks like JT Kirk also gave out.
Oh,
thank you, JT. Thanks for telling us this.
You're the
Appreciate
best,
you
buddy.
all. Thank you so much, buddies. Sorry.
So this is from that companion book. I haven't had a chance to like read this book over. I just, you know what I mean? And I haven't pre-read any of this stuff. So bear with me here. We're going to start on page 12, and I'm just going to read the summary portion. Some strain begins to show early in the process of integrating the Maquis crew into the Starfleet vessel. Into the Starfleet vessel? Yeah, everything I said about good writing, throw that out the window. This is not good writing. This might actually be worse than Wikipedia. Wow. When Torres ends a dispute in engineering by breaking the nose of Starfleet Lieutenant Carey, Tuvok readies her court-martial while some of the Maquis prepare to mutiny. Chakotay puts a stop to both plans and surprises Torres by telling her that he intends to suggest her as the new chief engineer. At the next senior staff meeting, Neelix and Kes interrupt, hoping to make themselves more useful to the crew. When Kes suggests a hydroponics bay for growing vegetables to cut down the use of the replicators, Janeway agrees to the plan, placing her in charge of the project. Yes, that's right. She put her in charge of the project instead of a botanist. Anyways, let's keep going. With that new position filled, Janeway is surprised by Chakotay's suggestion of Torres as chief engineer, but agrees to place her under consideration. Oh boy, some of this is not written well. As the discussion turns to Paris working as a field medic under the EMH, Voyager is jolted by spatial distortions emanating from a Type 4 quantum singularity. A ship trapped in the event horizon of the singularity hails Voyager, but the message is unclear. At Torres's suggestion, the crew prepares a subspace tractor beam to cut through the event horizon and rescue the ship. While the engineering crew works on the beam, Janeway has a tense discussion with Chakotay about the Maquis' place on the ship, with a particular emphasis on his role as first officer. In the meantime, only Kes shows concern over the fact that the EMH's holographic projectors are malfunctioning. The tractor beam does not work, almost pulling Voyager into the singularity instead. At Neelix's suggestion, the ship heads for Ildaria. En route, Janeway decides to learn more about Torres, but the conversation between them does not go well. After Torres leaves, the EMH reports that various crew members have suddenly become ill. Janeway hardly has time to discuss the situation before the ship jolts once again. They are back at the Singularity. Noting the peculiar effects of the Singularity on the EMH, Torres comes up with the idea that may allow them to contact the crew of the trapped ship, which in turn may provide clues to their own predicament. Torres's plans work, but when they finally hear the message from the other ship, they discover that it's really a time-delayed reflection of their own hails. Torres and Janeway realize that Voyager must return to rupture the event horizon, to the rupture in the event horizon that was created when the ship traveled through it. Otherwise, the Singularity will crush them. Using a Decon beam fired from the shuttlecraft piloted by the pair, they force the opening wide enough for Voyager to escape. Because of her tempered initiative and creative approach to saving the ship, Torres is given the chief engineer's post, a field commission of lieutenant. And that is all the text has to say about Parallax, boss. What'd you think of Parallax?
Hey, Ray Lucard, welcome.
Hey!
Welcome. Parallax. Well, I'm always going to have a little problem with that name because it's something to do with DC Comics, nothing to do with Star Trek. But anyway, oh boy, well, you got to start somewhere, don't you? Mm-hmm. Pilots are no real start. I mean, they're a start, but then you got the bridge from the pilot. Bridge 2 is your first episode following your pilot, and so I don't really. It's clunky. It's they're trying to start getting you familiarized with the characters and where they're going to go, and that's I don't know. At least there's not a lot of soap opera crap in it, and at least there's no. I mean, they're trying it's an attempt to do a science fiction story. Yep. I don't think they handled it particularly well. It was an interesting idea. The concept's all right.
Mm-hmm. I'm grading it on a scale of science fantasy, not strictly holding it to Star Trek conventions. That being, of course, TOS. But yeah, my grading scale is definitely moving more toward the science fantasy, just as I tried to move it toward drama for DS9.
Well, I'll go. I'm more interested usually in narrative in the sense that it's a story about a ship out in space trying to deal with a problem to do with science and technology and things like that. In addition to their interpersonal problems that are going to happen on the ship, I'm fine with all that. So you got to have it. I mean, the characters can't have no personality. So, and you've decided that your premise is you're going to integrate these two crews. I kind of like Chakotay in the episode a little bit. I've never been the biggest B'Elanna fan, to be perfectly honest with
you. I can't stand her.
I can't say I blame you. I mean, kind of, I don't know. She's just annoying to me because she's just her whole personality. I mean,
obnoxious.
Right? She doesn't strike me as the kind of person that can be in command of anything.
Yep.
And whereas, say what you want about Janeway, she does, but not B'Elanna, and she's supposed to be putting her in charge of engineering. Then I think you should have written the character a little bit better, especially if she's half Klingon. Yep. That's just me, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't like her much. So it's a rough start. This is already, man, the Neelix and Kess stuff.
I hate Neelix.
Already getting old. It's already getting old really quick. Yeah. Not a big fan of that little dynamic. And by the way, I don't hate Kess so much. It's just Neelix could be. He makes it worse.
Yeah.
I think, personally. And yeah. And that's Cardi, that's true. Oh, look, I think Roxanne Dawson's a lovely woman, and like you said, she directed a lot of episodes later of other Trek and stuff. And nothing against her personally. I don't really.
Well, people should always assume that we mean that. That it's not taken personally. I think we live in a culture now where people think, we're talking about the person, and we're not. Sometimes you go to work and you do a good job, and sometimes you go to work and you don't do a good job. And sometimes you go to work and somebody asks you to do something that doesn't make you look the smartest doesn't make you look like the brightest bulb, and you have to deal with that. But it's certainly not a personal attack on anyone, and certainly on a go forward basis, everyone should assume that Clobby and I are just talking about the acting, and we're just talking about the show.
Yeah, no, of course, but no, I mean, yeah, she's just, I don't really, maybe, and it's also, I'm just kind of really just talking about the way she's written. I'm not sure she's a character I would have wanted to see as the chief engineer.
No, personally. I love Carrie.
Yeah. So, Dabman Walking, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Dabman Clan and Ray Lucard. Hey there.
Hey, Ray. Nice to see you.
So, as I said, it's an episode where they're actually staying on the situation. They don't have a lot of B plot kind of crap as much. I mean, they have character plot, but it's not quite the same. Mm-hmm. They're trying to deal with a certain problem. I'm going to give them some points for that. I just don't think, and again, maybe some of their ideas fairly interesting. On the whole, though, it's an okay episode. Yeah. Get started, but a bit clunky. So, notes?
Well, I'm pretty generous with this one because it's a welcomed thing to have this episodic science fantasy rather than this overwrought, tongue spit swapping, ugly bumping weirdness that was going on with the comedy known as DS9. So, and it is important that while everyone in Trekdom is like, oh, DS9 is a drama. Well, it's also important for those exact same people to realize that Voyager is a science fantasy, not science fiction. And it can be annoying, but you have to put it in context. If you're going to adopt that attitude, of benevolence towards DS9, you have to do it for Voyager too. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite.
Sure.
Anyway, here are my notes. B'Elanna belongs in jail, or should I say, B'Elanna. They change it later, and it's super annoying. Anyways, this lady is a giant B word, maybe even a giant C word. She belongs in jail. She should be charged with assault, and she is damn lucky that Lieutenant Carey didn't punch her back. She is unprofessional, weak, and a coward. Why is Seska in a medical green uniform, specifically from the DS9 issue? And then later on, we see her in I believe it's engineering, in a blue one. Seska shouldn't be in a green DS9 issue, nor in a pure science blue. So, I don't know who's, working production here, but get your crap together. I hate Neelix, and I strongly dislike Kess. They have no business in a senior staff meeting. A science officer would be prepared for such an endeavor. There is no need for a non-specialist civilian layperson in such an endeavor, meaning that a botany project. Kess isn't a Starfleet scientist. She isn't a Starfleet astronaut. She isn't a Starfleet botanist. Catherine's close talking takes some getting used to. That is Captain Janeway. Wow, she's a close talker. If she ever walked that close to me, if she ever came inside of my personal bubble and talked that close to my face, I would be liable to grab her by her own face like the alien from that movie Aliens and just push her back like 3 feet. Just get away. The Doctor is horrible and wonderful. I love how obnoxious he is. He's absolutely insufferable, but it's comedic and delightful. Some great. Nice initial offerings on personhood. We're getting some developmental conversation with regard to human perceptions and those of the machine. So this is something that we're going to be facing. And thus, this is the science fiction aspect of it because it involves futurism. How will we perceive personhood? And will we perceive personhood differently? And how will that power differential work out when it comes to AI? So it's quite intriguing and it's very nice. It's so much better than watching Kirodo kiss. B'Elanna is annoying and obnoxious. I cannot stand her. She is a gigantic C-bomb, totally unlikable character. She is completely irrational, completely unreasonable. She's violent. She is constantly hysterical, on the verge of tears, and out of control emotionally. And that drives somebody like me up the wall. I'm an INTJ. Working with me is kind of like working with Spock. I would love to just work with Vulcans all the time. It's not that I'm not an emotional person. I love people. If you came up to me and you said to me, my grandma passed away, I would instantly start crying and hug you, and we would go off and have a private lunch together, and we could talk about it. But when I'm at work, no, go away, go away. I don't know if it's scientifically sound, the entire concept, because of course I'm not a physicist, and I'm not about to be one of those weirdos on YouTube that Googles some facts from Wikipedia and then I think I understand physics and event horizons. That's quite obnoxious and really annoying. So please don't do that. But I'm an academic. I'm a scholar. I have no idea if it's scientifically sound, but I do think it is super fun. And the last thing I wrote is, I absolutely love Carrie. I would rather have Carrie than Belana anytime, any day, anytime, all day long. And that's all I wrote.
Warrior of Justice, thank you for the $2 super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. He says, welcome to Burger King. Pickles are irrelevant. Pickles are irrelevant. Special sauce is irrelevant. Have it your way. No, your way is irrelevant. You will have it our way at Burger King. All right. Thank you so much for that. You're too kind. No, say, let's see, where are we up in here? All right. So, so there you go. Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's certainly, I'm pretty much with you and all that kind of stuff. I don't like B'Elanna. I don't hate her, I guess, but I don't like her. She could be annoying. I just don't think she's the kind of person. Now, granted, I'll give them this. She did leave Starfleet for those reasons. She's someone that didn't feel like she fit into Starfleet. Well, good. Then I understand she's got to be on the ship. Oh, I don't understand it, but I mean, if you're going to write her on the ship, at least write her credibly and say this is a character that can be there with Chakotay or whatever, but integrating her into the crew and making her try to fit into being in a command position, then you're going to have to write her differently. Give her some ability to adapt.
And some control over her emotions.
Right. And they kind of, I know this is a series goes on that changes a little bit, but right now she's insufferable.
She is. And the crying and the violence is ridiculous. She's very lucky that Carrie didn't punch her back and just, socked her back. Because he's a dude, so he would have knocked her out.
Of course, he was, again, I don't like the way they wrote him either. Like they made him like he's the jerk off. He was there first. And he was telling him, she was just kind of running all over him, of course, but that was in the writing room there.
Yeah. So. I like Carrie. If I had to work with her, I would react the same way. I mean, this person is absolutely ridiculous. The crying and the violence is out of control. And only a coward would sucker punch someone in a military environment on a ship where they're supposed to be behaving like an astronaut in a dangerous area of the ship where you should be exuding the highest levels of professionalism, given the fact that you're caring for the warp core, and here she is throwing punches. She's very lucky that Carrie didn't punch her.
Indeedishness. McBorger's over 50 million assimilated. Thank you, Warrior of Justice. You will be assimilated. Thank you. So, well, let's go ahead and rate it. Let's get a move on this episode here. So, what is your rating of Parallax?
I love the fact that this is episodic. I love the fact that we're back into science fantasy. I love the fact that there are so many science fiction elements that are viable. Mm-hmm. And insofar as that futurism discussing the nature of personhood through a human perception and those of a machine. There were other scientific aspects of it that I thought were cool. And I absolutely love the Doctor. I think he's wonderful. But I'm being quite generous here because we're just coming off of watching the DS9, which is absolutely awful. Season 7 shouldn't even exist. So I went ahead and I gave this a B minus. I think it could have scored a little bit higher, but just the Belana thing is just it's just too much for me. I can do science fantasy, especially if you're mixing it with science fiction, and I can be very loving and forgiving. But just I don't buy the fact that a captain would take on somebody who is so violent, assaults one of her officers, is flinging her body all around the place in some sort of conniption fit on a constant basis. She's throwing things, she's crying, she's growling, she's shouting. She acts like a complete lunatic. And I just don't buy that she would be in charge and put in charge, especially because she's Maquis. And I think that there needs to be a cleanup on aisle 5 when it comes to the production here. These guys have to get their crap together and stop putting people in the wrong uniforms and doing things that have nothing to do with Star Trek continuity. And that's it, boss.
Well, I actually went with a B minus also, because again, it moved fairly well. All those reasons you mentioned, just about pretty much there with me as well. It felt like Trek, what Trek at least, even when they drop the ball in a Trek episode, if a show is being Trek, then I always give it a little bit of slack for them and go, okay, it's about an idea. They're dealing with a problem. They got into some kind of weird sciencey problem, even if it's a little silly or how it's handled. That's what Star Trek is supposed to be doing. Yes, it's early on, so they're going to be dealing with character stuff like this. I get it. I understand that. I don't find it particularly credible that they would let a character like that, her, certainly that quickly. I mean, maybe down the road if they wrote a couple episodes later and Janeway made the decision based on seeing more out of the character, being able to adjust. But she's already destroyed her credibility of punching a guy for no reason.
Yeah, and you can't say that it's because she's half Klingon, because that doesn't make any sense. We have Worf as an example. We have General Martok as an example. We have so many foreign exchange Klingons as an example. People aren't, flinging their body all over the place, crying all the time and punching people.
Well, Klingons punch each other all the time, but they don't just,
they do. Hey,
Cardinal
thank
Sin's
you for joining the membership.
Hey, thank you, Cardinal Sin, for joining, buddy. Appreciate you. So where are we? All right, so yeah, we both agree on B minus. Now I'll ask our friends, please give us your rating and any words you may have on this episode. Parallax, go. I don't see any. By the way, thank you for those tweets earlier, Eric. I got them, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see here. All right, we'll get a couple of those collected up, and then okay. Lord, it looks like Lord Thoth is not going to give us any details. I don't know if he is or he might. He can if he's still here. But I believe he gives all of these episodes tonight. Well, we won't spoil it. We'll just say I think he gives this episode a D. Hey, Wolfie's here. Wolfie's here. Oh, by the way,
you know what that means, right?
Yes. Also, Captain Infinity and Beyond. Hey, Cap. It's here. Good to see you there, buddy. Okay, all right. Well, we're ready to go read some of these then. How about that? Zathras says C minus. I'll use the rest of my time trying to break my event horizon again. One of 2,659. Is that too many reviews? Not for you, buddy, because it'll take place over the course of time in the universe. Maybe the next one might be like in the far-flung future. So, J.T. Kirk says B minus. Lieutenant Carey went to Starfleet Academy. You can't just supplant professional officers like that with criminal dropouts. Good, very good point.
She's a terrorist.
All that true. She's definitely a terriblest. All that rage should mean we call her Cargo Bay Lana. Oh.
Yeah, and way too much crying. Why are you crying so much at work? Like every time you have a conversation with someone, you cry. Why?
Damn crybaby.
Like, dude, like maybe you should go down and see the EMH and get yourself some meds, like blow dart level meds.
Indeedishness. Where she can't hurt anyone. The amazing shrinking doctor made child me giggle. I love being back in out in open space. Yeah, I do. It does feel like we've been brought back out into open space a little bit, doesn't it? Mr. Angel, the chef, says D. The first season really has a weird rush start. All characters are still very unlikable. Balana as a head engineer. Yes, let's put the bipolar volcano in command of what could be. What could possibly go wrong? Very well said there.
Like that might be the best review of the night. That is how I would characterize her as well. Like in desperate need of meds.
Absolutely, chef. And he also says, I actually like Neelix, pragmatic, practical, and he turns into the ship's chef. So I am biased. I know. I gotcha. But OMG, he is such a simp for Tess in the beginning. Well, but he grows on me as a person. You know what? I've always thought the actor's really good. It's just something about the character. But you know, he
Chicken Man? Chicken Man?
Chicken Man. What about
that's what I call Neelix. He's Chicken Man. He looks like a rooster.
Oh. So when I hear Chicken Man, I think of the villain from Toy Story 2, which I love. Except that was the different actor. Wolfie says, rating B-. An event horizon is not an energy field. Everyone knows an event horizon is a starship that Sam Neill rides around. And you. Yeah, but I know we got that reference, of course. On the event horizon, they shove ice picks in your reproductive organs. Ouch. Skin people alive and occasionally drag living people across giant cheese graters that happen to be warp cores. And they also make them watch STD, I hear, which I think that's
sick.
That's even worse.
I would want to self-delete.
Yeah, I have nothing against getting dragged across a cheese grater every now and then, but not to watch STD. That's a little bit too far. Let's see here. Oh, wait. The event horizon they may be referring to is the area around a quantum singularity in which light cannot escape. Well, let's hope so. Hang on there. I love the slow burn on the Doctor's character development over these first few episodes. Yeah, he's all look. I mean, he's gold.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
He's gold. And Lim Scuba Pete says a C+. Is Balana from the Mirror Universe? Yeah, yes. Almost killing fellow crewmates and promoted. Yeah, good. A good point. I too reported to sickbay with nausea and headaches. Yeah.
Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, yes, indeed. Michael Bacon says B-. The show opens and they are looking at a ship trapped near a singularity. What is that? Is that actual science fiction I'm seeing? Yes, I'd say so. I got all tingly in anticipation. Then they talk about sorry, buddy, I gotta find you. All right. Then they talk about a rip in the event horizon. The event horizon. My dog is looking on alarmed as Daddy is swearing and fighting urges to throw things at the screen. A brief history of time was published. Hang on. A brief history of time was published in 1988. Hey, Braga, try reading it. Full props for trying to incorporate some actual astronomical phenomenon, but demerits for screwing it up. Dear Brandon Braga and crew. The event horizon, hang on, is the point of no return. You don't go through it and come back. Could have been a really good episode with some work. The crew moments were okay, not vile, but not great either. Well, I can only, Michael Beacom, the Doctor did on Doctor Who, did go through the Event Horizon and come back, and the three Doctors, but he's a Time Lord, so it's different. Everyone else, I'm with you. I'm sorry, I had to.
Science fantasy's okay.
I had to go geek on you, and I know he respects that.
Yeah.
Oh, hope I didn't, mess him up too bad. Lovely Lisa says, gives it an A and says, crew integration highlighted by Torres. Well-constructed pro-con arguments by Chakotay, Janeway, and Torres. Excellent sciencing the singularity, a test for Torres. All Doctor scenes were superb comic relief.
They were pretty good.
They were indeedishness. Thank you, Lisa. All righty, let's see. Up in here.
Oh,
Fiona.
Cajun Man.
What?
I love it when you do your Cajun Man.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Oh, sorry. We'll see what we got up in here. Fiona says the Maquis were criminals, and it should have taken much longer to be assimilated into the group. Yes, indeed. Janeway should have taken time to determine who could be trusted.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And also have B'Elanna, show up Carrie quite a few times.
Yes, at least, yeah. I love Robert Picardo, but kept thinking of his character from Inner Space getting ready in the bathroom with a cowboy hat and a fake lasso. Wow. You do not get to be chief engineer of a ship that you just arrived on, especially something as complicated as the new Voyager class. That is a extremely well-made point.
That's true.
Spot on. Now five. It would take months, if not years, to be checked out on something that complicated. Even if you were a brilliant engineer, you just can't bypass the compressor. And not only that, and Harry had been on the ship for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Boss, before you move on, I just wanted to let you know that Westward Smile walked through the door and everyone is waving hello.
Oh, okay. Westward Smile. Well, Westward Smile at you. And I hope you are doing very well. And so I've got 4. And then my next one of yours says 3 of 4 edited. This is confusing. Edit. You do not get to be a chief engineer of a ship that you just arrived on, especially something as complicated as the Voyager class, right?
Yeah.
4 plus 1 more. It would take months, if not years, to be checked out on something that complicated. Even if you were a brilliant engineer, you just can't bypass the compressor. Fair enough. It's a fair cop. And then Fiona says, Mulgrew's nasally voice really irritates me. I never got used to it. Not as stupid as last week. Not as stupid as last week. Wow. C-. Thank you so much, Fiona. Well said, of course.
In all fairness to Kate, I believe she had a head cold for this
7 years.
No, just for this particular episode. So I think it worsens.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm just trying to be kind.
Cardinal Sin, thank you, buddy. He says the EMH has a delightful arc over the entire series. So he has to start out as a gruff and abrasive. Likewise, the unlikable characters also settled in. Well, he's terrific. I think we're all big fans of the EMH. He's great. Let's see here. Linrod
Hot Rod
says C-. A sort of time travel episode already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. The technobabble of this was pretty heavy and painful. Or what with their tachyons, dachyons, and head scratchions. I like that.
Head scratchions?
I like that.
Okay, let's stop. Hashtag head scratchions.
Nice.
That just won the internet. That needs to be all over Twitter tonight.
Right.
Hashtag head scratchions. Oh,
but
brilliant.
Brilliant. But what grinds my gears most of all is know-it-all Janeway. I get that she's got a background as a science officer, but when Belly Banana Torres comes up with a good idea, she can't even finish her own sentence before Janeway suddenly knows the whole plan and finishes the sentence for her. That's why she picked her. They're going to be like, she just want to have her best girl bud to make all the decisions.
Yep.
Both annoying and cringe to them. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
the close talking, Lynn.
Oh,
don't you just want to
boy.
put your whole hand, like with the palm of your hand, directly on her nose and just gently push her back to an arm's length? I could not imagine somebody talking that close to my face.
Well, it's like being when you're a kid in school and the teacher's doing it. It's annoying. Then there's Paris offering to fly the shuttle into the crack to widen it with the butt scratching beams, which makes sense. But instead, Janeway has to be the one to fly because technobabble, blah, 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 blah.
Oh my gosh, this is 100% Lenrod's best review ever. This is so good.
Indeedishness. Last irritant was when Janeway refuses to answer Chakotay's question as to whether or not she'd serve under him. Her non-answer pretty much obvious. No, you're a man. She's a bit of a bee-hatch too, ain't she? Well, yeah, I mean, no argument there.
Len.
I think this was supposed to be a 100% baloney Topaz episode, but it wound up becoming cringy. Janeway knows best instead. Yes, sir. Bananarama Toroid has no business being in command of anyone. I feel like the only redeeming values here is the Doctor with his great quips, and Cass continue to be painfully cute.
Oh,
she is cute. I don't know why people don't think she's cute. I think she is a cutie back then, but if you don't ever look at any real life pictures from lately,
look, man, that's a hole you don't. That's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
Don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that because that's some serious weirdness going on there.
The great Eric K says D. So B'Elanna almost kills a guy to take his position. That is the way it is done in the Maquis. Yeah. She gets promotion and nothing wrong. So when he takes a wrench to the back of the head, is it all good? Yeah. Look, it really aggravated me. Like this dude, they purposely got out of the way to make him seem like he's a douchebag. He didn't do. He's defending himself, and he was the one. He's one of the original crew on that ship, who's worked on that ship for a long time.
Yeah.
And this woman comes from the Maquis, and look, I like Chakotay, but he's out of line trying to put what's her name, and again his basis is flawed anyway. He's trying to put B'Elanna in charge of engineering because she's quote a better engineer than that guy.
How does he even know that?
How does he even know that? But that's also, is that your only criteria? Because there's a command aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if she doesn't have that, who gives a crap how great an engineer she is?
Yeah,
she could still be, if she's that good, she could be useful under someone who's good giving the orders.
And I also don't like the whole idea, because of course, I don't always see these episodes as a viewer. Much of the time, unfortunately, after being in academia as long as I have been and studying writing, I feel like a writer while I'm watching these episodes most of the time. And I have to say that it takes a special kind of weirdo coward to have to place a woman in the position of punching someone in the face, knowing that he will not hit her back. I have problems with the ethics of that. And so I'm looking at the editors of this show. I'm looking at the producers of this show. I'm looking at the writers of this show. I'm looking at the people who crafted the teleplay. And I'm really asking them, what were you thinking there? What kind of a message is that? It's not good. And it's happening at work too, in a very delicate, very scary situation. And I question the motives and the ethics of this type of writing. I do.
Indeedishness, absolutely.
Oh, Penny has to leave. She says, good night, everyone.
Oh, have
Penny,
a good night, Penny. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us be a part of your evening. Sleep
night,
sweet,
Penny.
baby. That's what the cool kids say now, Penny. Sleep sweet.
Have a great night, dear. Klingons do not act this way. Any society that does is doomed to fail. Your one and only doctor has a major malfunction, and it is the last priority.
Yeah.
Throw Janeway in the brig with B'Elanna. That's a good point. That's a good point too. The way she was putting off the doctor. But I mean, what happens if somebody needs him? She acts like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Both should not be in charge of a bouncy house. Yeah. Where's the damn science officer? Where is the botanist?
Yeah. And that would be critical, Eric, because a botanist would be able to sit down with someone on board who's possibly studied agriculture and things like that, and they're going to be looking at the resources that type of farming would consume on board. They would be looking at the yield and approximating it against the numbers that would be required to provide sustenance once they run out of field rations. But we're going to talk a little bit about that later, because I have a bone to pick with them as far as that issue goes. So lovely comments.
See if we can get some. We've got a lot of these to go, folks. Let's see, get some move on here. C- says shooter. B'Elanna smash. Were Klingons always angry? Well, Klingons are, but this ain't a Klingon ship. Klingons don't give a shit about punching each other around. That's not the way, and she's not even she didn't even like being a Klingon. Aggressive, yes, but not uncontrollable. Luxan hyper rage. And B'Elanna saves the day and all the children accept her and become her friend. Yeah. Let's see here. They did need to do at least one episode dealing with the Maquis Federation difference. Better to get it out of the way sooner than later. Yeah, I mean, well, obviously it had to be dealt with if that's where you're going to set your show up. Sure. Event before cause does not compute. The reflected singularity trap isn't bad, but I find it hard probably to believe a starship sensors wouldn't pick up a black hole before going into a rather decent early episode. Fair enough, buddy.
I just wanted to let you know, I'm sorry, I know you're trying to pick up speed here, but I just wanted to let you know that our fine chief of engineering has showed up. He's ready for work. He's reporting for duty.
Yes, indeed.
Duty!
Good. Welcome. To the great Mark D with a C. All right, where we at? Okay, Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge, says TNG's Kalar wasn't as violent as B'Elanna. True. She was a way better character. Simply Steve says C- rating. Alt title Poop Relax. Chaka Ote refugeed into the, I don't know, or something, the number one position. Baloney Torrid, given the CE position. Needlix installed as a humanoid replicator cook. Cat, what does she do?
Agreed, Steve.
Dude, I love Simply Steve.
So good.
So they had lost most of their key command position people and replaced with refugees. Also, shouldn't Taurus look more like a Kazon instead of a regular Klingon halfling? I don't know. I'm glad she doesn't look like a Kazon. I will vote against that every day. Fancy outside, he was a man. Says F after consultation with at Lord Thoth. We agree that Parallax was a terrible character. He was. If you talk about Hal, you make a Hal Jordan joke, dude. I knew you'd do it. I didn't meant to see the word Hal. There we go. It should never have the light of day. Agreed. I hate Hal. I hate Parallax. How dare they do that to Hal? Oh wait, Voyager. I know, dude. I'm so glad you're you. Yeah, I hate Parallax. Yeah. I wish they wouldn't even never use that word in the English language again because of what they did to Hal Jordan. Parallax sucks. See, if anything, if anything, she should have maybe should have been co-chief engineer, since B'Elanna wouldn't know much about the cutting edge tech of the neural gel pack. As Voyager was the ship and was the first ship with them.
It's so true, Fanty. It's the first thing that you think of, especially if you rewatch it like I do. You know, what about your bio-neuro gel packs now?
Why is she qualified? She knows nothing about that stuff.
No, it's the first ship with that technology.
Why is the doctor upside?
Are you eating popcorn?
No.
Yes, you are.
I'm not eating popcorn.
Are you eating M&Ms?
Mm-mm.
Busted!
I'm not eating M&Ms.
Are you eating the chocolate bar?
Nope.
Chips.
Okay.
Yes, I did it.
Sorry, I got so hungry I snuck one without thinking.
No, it's good. I like it.
All right. It's Fanny Outsider's fault anyway. Why is the doctor so annoyed doing things he's programmed to do? To quote Short Circuit.
Yeah.
They just run programs. Neelix is the textbook. A attaboy, eager to please. They needed to dial that down.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Where are we? Now, Warrior of Justice says C rating because she was a C-bomb, but still better than DS9. Also, did you hear about the board convenience store? It's called 7 of 11. I'm here all week. I like it. Thank you, Warrior of Justice.
I love the puns. This is a puntastic crowd.
Bubba
very
Doom.
punny.
Thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, it takes a special woman to be Mrs. Columbo. That didn't last, did it?
You also have some gifts coming from Gil Bavel, our friend Cardi, and also Eric K. Duty!
Oh, thank you, Cardi. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks, Gil. He says, as a writer, I totally agree with Raquel. A working knowledge of screenwriting ruins 95% of TV and movies, sometimes including ST. It's very hard to find something good to watch, especially these days. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Thank you, Gil.
Thank you, Gil.
Well said as always, sir. Eric K. Thank you, buddy. He says, duty. Duty. Duty.
I love you, Eric.
Big duty face. Mr. Angel, the chef, says, blow dat level meds. Blow dat level meds? Falls off chair laughing. I think he meant to say.
JT Kirk and the chef like blow dart level meds.
Okay, gotcha. Bubba Doom says, D+, Chipotle irritates me. Chipotle. Oh, shit. I come from Indian stock. I'm proud of it. That said, I know enough not to get face tattoos. B'Elanna, meh. Neelix would not be allowed in my home. Mrs. Columbo is a weak captain. Yes, I agree.
There you go.
Yeah, the face tattoo thing had to be annoying for the actors. Like, I do this every week now. Thanks a lot.
Imagine how Jadzia felt. Imagine how Terry Farrell felt.
On the face is bad enough. It's even worse, though, I would think, wouldn't you? A tattoo. Ugh. Sean Carter says, this gets a C from me. The writers rushed B'Elanna into her position. They missed out on a good arc. I also couldn't get past Janeway Torres in the shuttlecraft. The way they finished each other's sentences was a bit nonsensical. Like others have said, a lot of this feels rushed. They should have slowed down the crew integration. Yes.
Because it's not realistic.
Agreed. Here comes the judge. Joe Dredd says, D. B'Elanna should have been in the brig. Kalar from TNG wasn't as violent as Torres. Neelix and Kess barge into the senior officer's briefing. The EMH is left small and in a high-pitched voice. Yeah, good thing nobody needed any doctoring or anything, right? And, of course, the chief engineer says, B, this Parallax was much better than the Green... Another one, the Green Lantern movie. Yes, it wasn't a cloud, at least. Refreshing to actually be on a starship again, exploring versus soap opera slog.
Yeah.
That the end of DS9 subjected us to.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Season 7 so bad, Mark.
Who would have guessed that the break character, the break character would be, and I think his breakout character would be an emergency hologram. Picardo is Voyager, saving grace. Every scene with him is a treat. Agreed. Agreed. So, are we ready to move this up?
Yes, let's do the next one. I'm sorry if you guys can hear things in the background. It's very hot here today, so I have to have my window open because I'm from Canada, in an area of Canada where we don't customarily use air conditioning except for where we sleep.
Don't worry about it. Our next episode is Phage, right?
Is it? No, it's Time and Again, I believe, boss.
I'll switch them around.
Thank you, sweetheart.
There we go.
Okay, Time and Again is season 1, episode 4, but this will show as episode 3 on international streaming. Just ignore it. It's just these corporations. That's not the official number. It should be episode 4. It is production code 104, and it first aired on January 30th, 1995. I am going to be reading from the companion text, page 15. At the end of their duty shift, as Paris pressures Kim to join him on a double date with the Delaney sisters, Voyager is shaken by a huge shockwave. Like every time the show starts with a shockwave. Investigating its origins, the crew finds a nearby M-class planet where a cataclysmic explosion has recently extinguished all life. Kes is drawn to the bridge by a dream that may be linked to the tragedy, although she remains silent as an away team beams down to the planet. There they find the remains of what appeared to be a pre-warp civilization destroyed by a chain reaction of polaric ion explosions that also fractured subspace. Before the full away team can safely beam back to the ship, Paris and Janeway are caught in a subspace fracture and transported back in time to the day before the explosion. Surrounded by a civilization on the eve of destruction, Janeway orders Paris not to warn the populace about the approaching disaster, citing the Prime Directive. Searching for clues to get them back to Voyager, the pair heads for a polaric ion power station, while an inquisitive boy follows them, suspecting that they are up to no good. While avoiding the child, they unintentionally become caught up in a clash between the local authorities and a group of protesters who rightly believe the power station is a danger to the environment. Kes realizes that her latent accompanying psychic abilities seem to have been sensitized by the explosion. She accompanies an away team as they attempt to track Janeway and Paris's movements in the past. Once they find their crewmate's subspace signal, the away team should be able to reopen a fracture and bring them into the correct timeline. They do manage to track a signal from a comm badge, but instead of guiding them through subspace, it leads them to the ruins of a house, signifying that Janeway and Paris may have been caught in the explosion. In the past, Janeway attempts to explain that she and Paris are not spies from the government when the boy, Latika, is found and brought in to blow their cover story. Since it appears that their presence on the planet may have resulted in the explosion, Janeway thinks they may have inadvertently broken the Prime Directive, making them responsible for to set things right. How many times is that now? As far as it's their fault and they have to set it right. However, the protesters' refusal to believe her is only strengthened when the away team is able to get a garbled communication to their captain. The protesters take away their comm badges. and continue with their plan to sabotage the power station. A day into the future, the away team finds the flashpoint of the blast at the power station and uses a polaric beam to cut through subspace and find the missing crew members. When Janeway sees the polaric beam moments before the explosions to take place, who wrote this? You deserve shin kicks. Should be no contraction there. She realizes that this was not the protesters who caused the accident. It was the away team's rescue attempt. Using her phaser to blunt the impact of the beam, Janeway succeeds in sealing the opening and resetting time. And I think that's pretty much... Oh, no, there's a tiny bit left here. The crew is returned to Voyager a few seconds before the shockwave hit the ship, entirely unaware of the experience except for Cass, who finds herself strangely relieved that a nearby planet is teeming with life. And that is all the companion has to say about time. And again, boss.
We got the time police here at least. Hey, Time Captain Infinity. The time police. It's good to have you here. By the way, thank you, Six, for that lovely super sticker. You were too kind. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, my dear. And thank you, Eric K, for the help. I'm being mauled by a blonde whirlwind. Yeah.
Hi, sweetheart.
Good to see you. And Eric K says, help. I'm being blind by being mauled by a blonde whirlwind.
Kirby, go sit down.
Oh, that. Okay. That's that. Okay. That's a fact. And Claude Salling. Hey there. Welcome.
Good evening, Claude.
Good to see you. Always great to see my lovely Six. Yeah, we got to call the time police on this one.
What about the BS police? Are we going to call the BS police on this one as well?
Oh, boy. So, they existed, but they didn't. They caused their own. The AI show. Welcome. Okay, so basically, they caused
evening AI show.
They caused what happened, but it already happened.
So ridiculous.
But they were the cause of what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
it's the third time now.
How can they be the cause of? Did I miss something?
And the worst thing is that they said that, they said, what am I saying? Can you guys tell that I'm not feeling well? My head is just goo. This is the second time, right? That they cause a temporal anomaly.
Yeah,
and then they have to solve the temporal anomaly. And this is also like the second or third time they had to pass through some type of fracture. It's like, this is what I mean again. Like these are times when I'm drawn out of being able to enjoy the episode as a viewer, and I start to assume my role in what I'm university educated in, and that is editing. Where is the editor to protect this team? An editor should have been all over this and said, look, you guys are recycling ideas. This is ridiculous. This is the third shockwave and the second time, and we're going to even have a third time of this temporal anomaly thing. Can you get some fresh ideas?
And they just did it to be preachy. Let's be honest. I mean, they're almost like the filth sometimes, even in the old days when they did something. They have no other. They needed a way to make their stupid ass, over-the-top, ham-fisted messaging work for them. And so they said, screw it. It's a science fiction show. It doesn't have to make any sense. No, I think you do have to make sense. Because it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. You don't like certain
nuclear
kind of energy.
Power.
Basically, they don't like nuclear energy. So they're going to do an episode about it. It's wiping out the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow that's going to whatever. It's whatever, dudes. It was just lame ass, sloppy. No thought went into this thing at all.
No.
It's just, whatever.
It's terrible writing.
Filling up time.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Recycling ideas already, and we're only on episode 4. Well, episode 3 if you're watching this through international streaming services. So, I mean, it's like the 4th episode, and it's the 3rd time we've used this same scenario, and the 2nd or the 3rd time that we've been responsible for specifically a temporal anomaly, right?
Notes? You got notes?
Yeah. The whole Tom Paris and Harry Kim double dating always reminds me of MASH, when the guys would always, say, "Oh, we have a double date with so and so."
We're not ready for reviews yet, everybody. We'll call for the review after we get doing. Raquel does her notes, and then we review them, so you'll know. Yeah. We hadn't said that in a while. Maybe we need to let people know that.
We do. Voyager's 3rd time in 3 episodes where they are in the wake of a shockwave. This is the 2nd time that they cause a temporal anomaly, and they have to solve the temporal anomaly, and they need to pass through a fracture. So it's time for some fresh ideas. I hate Neelix, and I strongly dislike Cass. I hate Neelix, and I strongly dislike Cass. I hate Neelix. Neelix is the Cliff Clavin of Voyager. Subspace fracture fun. Is this based on science? Everyone knows where Janeway and Paris are and how to get them back instantly. Fun. Time travel is easy peasy, fresh and breezy. When they take Janeway's and Paris's comm badges, leaving them on the table, and then going to the nuclear power plant, because I'm just going to say that's what it is, because that's what it is. That's what they're protesting here is nuclear power.
Yep.
The captain and Tom should lose the ability to communicate with the Delta Quadrant aliens. There is no way that they would speak the Delta Quadrant aliens' language, and that's that. The end. Stick a fork in it. It's done like dinner. Comm badges are responsible for universal translation. Janeway, the close talker, take your hand, put it on her nose, push her away from you. And then I put the quote that makes me howl, like I like if I were drinking something, I would spit whenever I hear Janeway say, "They're cutting through subspace." It's just absolutely ridiculous. I hate Neelix, and I strongly dislike Cass, and I think they're gross, and I think they're gross together. Also, I said that it's time for Clobby to call the time police, and that's all I said.
He's here. The great Captain Finity, the Atomicus Macabus is here.
Yes.
Do your job, sir. Make some arrests. Throw him in temporal jail.
So yeah, it's just, and I absolutely hate Cliff Clavin as Chicken Man. It's so annoying.
Neelix the cat, yeah. The cat version of Neelix, Barkley's cat is better. Neelix, oh jeez.
So what'd you rate it, boss? I gave it a D-.
I'm gonna give it a D because I have a suspicion I'll be wanting to go lower on some other stuff. I'm gonna be nice and give it a D.
Yeah, but
dumb.
Yeah, the whole like
it really deserves less than that.
It's way too on the nose. Like,
yeah, it's preachy. It's not even it's not even entertaining. In other words, entertaining silly or entertaining dumb is one thing, but it's not even that. It's not well written. There's no real tense drama in it whatsoever. There's nothing clever about it where you go, okay, we can shoot holes in it, but it was kind of clever. You can't even do that. There's no real particular entertainment value of it. Again, I'll give it, I guess if I give it any credit, is that they were trying to have a story that they weren't running around whining about fifis, or they weren't like about relationships and
no one's afraid of macaroni and cheese.
No one's afraid. Yeah. But still, we can't say that entirely because we have to deal with the Neelix Cass crap.
It's true. I hate Neelix, and I strongly dislike Cass.
I hate Neelix, and I'm kind of indifferent to Cass. She's all right. I mean, that's
when
not
they
that great.
Kiss, I gag.
Oh, I got you, Cardi. I was just waiting. I didn't want to interrupt Raquel, but I got you. Here we go. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than have to have a temporal anomaly. I would rather you have that bottle as well, sir. And I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah. Fill your boots.
Please
drink responsibly.
Captain Infinity said time travel can seem headache-inducing, but every time Clobby and Professor do this, it makes more sense. We have fixed time travel together. Thank you, Captain Infinity. So, oh my God,
Captain Infinity.
So, all right, now everyone, if you want to go ahead and let's knock this out. In fact, I tell you what, here's what's going to happen. As soon as you all send your reviews, I'm going to ignore those and us. I'm going to cut ours out of the stream. And we're going to act like us reviewing it made the episode not happen. And so none of our reviews will actually, including mine, I'll go back later and edit us out of it, reviewing it. And we'll pretend this episode didn't happen. We'll let it become a temporal anomaly of an episode. How about that, everybody? Who's for that? Don't kidding, right?
Yep, you're going to break Clobby. They're going to break Clobby. It exists.
It never happened. Now, write your reviews. It'll be fine. We'll save them in a time bubble. Okie dokie. Oh my goodness. Where are we?
The chat's acting a little bit funny. It just did a huge dump and then flashed away and then returned. So I'm just getting them ready for you now, boss. Check your folder. Your folder should be filling up right now.
And you make a good point, Eric. If we could please try to keep those to the 5 minimum. You'd be doing me a favor because we get so many.
Thank you, Eric. Love you, honey.
Yeah, once in a while. I know some people exceeded it last time a little bit, but I always ask if you can help me out with the 5. I really appreciate it because we'll get more and more people in here, and I appreciate everyone being here. But it will be, we'll be going all night. If you're capable of limiting that, then I do appreciate it. Okay, Bubba Doom said,
Bubba Doom,
G-. Captain Columbo doesn't give a hang about the Prime Directive. There was less Chipotle. I can't take credit. I've got that here. I got that here. I don't remember who counted it. I can't remember who did the Chipotle. It was one of our good friends here. It was very clever.
Yeah.
It was pure pre 9/11 terriblest R. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have another one after that? Maybe. I don't think so. If he did, I'll look. No, that was when I started. He did it a little early, but C- says Parker Luck. Is it possible that Harlan Ellison wrote this episode from the grave? Just joking. It might be possible. He wasn't in the grave at that point. So timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey.
His hands on chesticles. That's the real question.
Which was mean he has no time for writing anything anymore.
No free hands. They're all on chesticles.
JT Kirk says D-. The worst episode of season 1. Lazy costumes, lazy science, preachy messaging. The crew must cancel Netflix.
Yes, please.
They must cancel Netflix. They probably corrected him to that when he was trying to write Neelix. Out of the nearest airlocks. I hate mystical, almost Mary Sue Cass and her magic dumb powers. Why does she have? At least say what you want about Troy. It was stupid when they messed around, but she did come with basic Betazoid abilities that they just didn't understand. No one ever. When was it set up that Kess had these kind of crazy?
This episode sets it up
just for that, right? That's so stupid. Smilex says C-. Sure, you have to scoop out your brain to enjoy it, and the Children of the Corn Kid was creepier than a 70s BBC presenter, but I did stay awake to the end, and with Voyager, that's an accomplishment. Wow.
Smilex. You sound like Bubba Doom. Bubba Doom's like, Raquel, I just watched this, and I don't remember it already.
Well said, though. Very well said, Smilex.
Larry's in the chat now. Hey, baby.
Who?
Larry, he's active in the chat now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good. Cool. Hey, Larry. What's up, brother? Shooter says this episode. Third episode in, and we get time travel. That is promising. And dating, great. That's what we want. Cass, I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I'm as shocked as the doctor that the new crew weren't given physicals, medical profiles made, particularly with the new species. What is with Star Trek and the weird clothing styles?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, that was kind of like that was the kind of thing that used to happen on the old series much, because they didn't have big budgets and they went to an alien planet. They would just kind of go as crazy as they wanted, with the style and clothes.
Yeah, but it's because they didn't have the budget for makeup and prosthetics and things like that.
That's what it reminded me of, though. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And isn't this what happened in the TNG finale? How could this even happen? Cause and effect, people. They felt the shock wave they created before they created it.
Oh, Shooter.
Try not to do that to yourself.
I mean,
try not to do that to yourself, Shooter. It'll make your brain hurt.
Yeah, like you can't think about it too much. If you think about it too much, it's like, okay, so this is absurd. I can't even believe adults put this on screen.
D- says Eric K. He said, so they exist, yet they do not exist. Cass's psychic ability can go across time and space, and apparently things that don't exist. She has more powers than Counselor Cameltoe. Hopefully, these writers give up on time travel. You better not get those hopes up.
Smilex says, hey, my name was green at the start of this stream. I've been demoted in real time. Right, that's it. I'm going to have a hissy fit.
What happened?
I don't know, honey. Did your membership expire? I don't know.
I don't know. It was green just now, wasn't it?
Oh, Fiona's saying that it expired monthly. Exactly.
Oh, well, there plenty of there may be some gift ones ready. I've been in chats, other people's chats before, where someone gifted member chats, and I don't even know how to get them.
Oh,
I was like, not that wouldn't do it. My mind wouldn't let me.
Oh.
Which I didn't care, but I was just saying. I was curious because I don't know how you get one. Mm-hmm. So I was curious one day. I was at somebody's chat and they gave some. I wasn't even going to take it. I just want to see. So how do you do that? And I looked at everything. I said, it doesn't let me. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how to tell anybody how to do it.
Boss,
but yes.
Matt G is here. And the first thing he did was throw pain sticks and Waddy sticks and the agony booth and
G.
Avon into the chat. Matt G.
Oh. Matt G, good to see you, my friend. Fiona says, there we go. Another time travel story and another crack in space, plus a creepy kid, and we're only 2 episodes into the series. Where's my Advil? These writers are morons. Indeedishness. If the writers only used even a middle school science book, they can avoid a lot of the sci cringe that pervades this entire show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
So true.
All right. I don't even want to begin enumerating the scientific absurdities of this.
I know.
Of this. Might as well just start saying it's the will of the force. Such laziness on the writer's part. Yes, no kidding, Fiona.
It's true.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. I was surprised that it didn't get canceled halfway through the first season. For something with Star Trek in the name, this was just incredibly stupid. I'm sure they thought they were being clever. Here was when I realized that this is a fantasy show and not science fiction. I didn't start watching it until 7 of 11 showed up. D-. Thank you, 7 of 11. I love it. Well done. Thank you, Fiona. Lisa says F. Bad story. No visiting pre-warp civilizations. So why are they there?
Yeah, that's the first thing I think of every time the episode comes on.
Right, yeah. They're not supposed to go to a planet like that. So why would they be there? It causes destruction. Ugh. Makes my brain hurt. Cass's ugly, scary crying looked real. Was she acting? I do's not knows, but it was really dumb.
Oh, Cass.
And they call him Scuba Peach, says D-, Cindy Lover. If you are lost, you can look, but Cass will find you. If you're lost, you can look, but Cass will find you time after time.
Oh my God. I love Pete so much. Pete is so funny. I love him. Oh, Pete.
Admiral T. How are you? Thanks for being here.
He is here, yes. I started his.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah.
It says, remember who said it first? She's Captain Insane Way. I like it. I like it. Well done, sir. You said it first.
It's funny.
For all I know, you said it first. There you go. Oh, by the way, Lord Thoth gave this one a D as well. He's very consistent.
LT.
Mr. Angel says F. Wow. Half plot armor, time travel, episode alert. Oh, one of two, sorry. Plot armor, time travel, episode alert. Man writer stations, load ink in pens. Oh, men writer stations, load ink in pens. Fire racers bring in 1,000 gallons of Tipex. What is Tipex? To flood the writer's room, and let's rewrite this uninspired shitola. Oh, righty then. Time travel episode should not be before season 3 in any Star Trek series. Darn it.
Darn it.
Start screaming out of the window. Oh, man, you're going to get in trouble over there. Be careful, Jeff.
So funny.
Michael Beacom says C-. How many episodes does it take to get back to time anomalies? 1. Geez, I'm beginning to remember why I dipped out of this show back in the day. More character development, and that's okay, except they obviously want to stuff Paris into the Kirk mold with a girl in every port. Sigh. I like the idea of the rescue attempt triggering the very disaster they were exploring, but the execution is flawed. They are searching for things for Kes to do, and that's fine. But where there is Kes, there is Neelix, and I cannot stand that character. Needed more time in the writing stage. Indeed, sir.
Yep.
Well said as always.
It's also the nature of the relationship. It's quite odd because, she's the age of a toddler. She's only been alive for a couple of years. He's quite a bit older than her, and he starts to behave in a very violent and controlling way, which would probably get him punched out by a lot of men in the real world. You can't really act like that in the real world. And he goes overboard, and he becomes verbally violent, and it's not cool at all. So that's why a lot of people hate Neelix, and they definitely don't like the Kes Neelix relationship. So you're not alone there, Michael Beacom.
I think, and like you said, the Kes Neelix thing, I think it's what you said, all the other stuff is true as well. But the backbreaker is, or the deal breaker is the Kes Neelix thing because of that weird age. I mean, look, even if she was not 3 years old, I mean, at the most, if she was like a regular, like a human, she'd be like, what, in her early 20s? He looked like he's 90. I mean, he's, but still, the fact that he's 3, that's just, and I get it. The Ocampa have lost shorter lifespans, and so they become more aware at a very early age. It just still feels weird.
Yep.
It's just not good. Linrod says, C-.
Just wait before you start that. Don't go anywhere. Leave that up on the marquee. But Chef wants me to say, hey, Raquel, for Clobby, Tipex is the old school white liquid to erase typos on old school typing machines and to drown bad writers in it. So, yeah, I'm showing my age here with a cute little cookie smile and a wink. So thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you. By the way, Larry gifted 5 more memberships.
Larry?
Again, a few minutes ago. Thank you to the Mark D for showing me that. And thanks, you, Larry. Appreciate you, bro. You're too kind, buddy. Everything in this episode existed. Then it never existed. But it existed, yet it never existed.
Len, don't break Clobby.
What are you trying to do to me? Why are you trying to destroy me?
Remember what happened last time, Len?
Overall, I found that this chat doesn't exist, even though it does, but it doesn't.
Oh, no, Clubby, no.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it. I almost did it, but I'm okay. Overall, I found this enjoyable, but the ending was a total mess. We're only 3 episodes in, and they have already succeeded in violating their own time travel rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, is the time linear here, or is it a multiverse? Make up your minds, writers. Who are you calling writers? Sorry.
Clubby. Zing! That was a gooder.
At least the technobabble was okay this time, and Paris's interaction with the kid were fun. We ate him. That was funny.
I say it out loud every time I rewatch. We
ate him. Yeah, that was good. Once again, the best here is the Doctor and his great quips. And Cass, I'm a toxic male. What can I say? Also, anyone else notice how much they love zooming the camera in? Yeah, they shouldn't zoom in on her dumb ears, though. Could you? Yeah, she only gets to live 9 years. Could she not have really ridiculous ears?
Yeah, and they're very poorly done. They're not. They're not.
Yeah.
Cosplay is better than that. Sorry.
I was going to do Phantom Outsiders, read what he had to say, but he doesn't exist.
Oh,
I just erased him from time.
Oh,
so Phantom,
yes.
I'm sorry, you no longer exist, so I can't read that. And I wish you existed because I miss you. But since you didn't exist, I don't even know who you are or never. But I'm going to read this anyway. Phantom, I don't exist outsider. D, this was a poor attempt at fear-mongering, but I don't exist, so what do I know? As this aired in 1:30:95 and the large electron-positron collider, which never existed, by the way, started up on 5/2/95, alternate title, If I Could Turn Back Time. Are you sharing? Oh, that's right, you're Cher. You're not Phantom Outsider. How can people hate a 2-year-old?
I don't hate. I strongly dislike.
She's 3, by the way.
But she's 3.
Don't worry, he didn't write that. This because that what I just read there never happened.
It
doesn't exist. And I'm going to miss Fanty. Look, I would miss you, but I can't because you never existed. But if you ever exist again sometime, welcome back just in case. And I'm going to miss you, everyone. I think we're all missing Fanty right now, right? So yes. I'm just going to miss him, man. But he doesn't exist, so you're all going to be okay. Here's a guy that
exists. Is enjoying the 735 Club. He says, "Ha ha ha! These names: Banana Torres, Chipotle, Counselor Camel Toe."
I love it. They're perfect.
No. We're weirdos here. Sorry about that.
Dediousness, we are. D- says Simply Steve, who does exist because he has his proof of existence on file. D rating, alt title, Time to Flush Again. Fracking, fracture, failure, feels foolish. Fracking, fracture, failure, feels foolish, and makes for lousy storytelling.
Yeah.
Neil likes Kiss. Oh, Neil Kiss. Oh boy, almost as cringe as Kiroto. Janeway should have banged Gangway. Whoa, should have been Gangway.
Oh. I thought you said Bangway.
He said Gangway. Should have banged the Gangway. Should have. I don't know. It's a good thing that one didn't exist. You need to. Simply Steve, you need to start existing again because that was a good one. Toxic JT Kirk says Troy, where are you?
No, what? Where are you? Guess. They're over here. They're over there.
What in the hell? Did that exist?
No, doesn't exist. Never happened.
The AI show says D+.
Sorry, chat. I 100% heard Bangway. I'm sorry.
I did. I
Go
said
ahead,
Bangway.
Bob.
I probably said Bangway by accident. Optional title: A shockwave to the system. Another temporal. I give it a D+, by the way. A shockwave. Let's see. Another temporal anomaly repair story. It's almost as if Christopher Walken, a la SNL, said, "I need more shockwave." Surprise! Scott Bakula wasn't in this. Who knows? He may have been in another universe somewhere. Warrior of Justice says F rating. This episode can Borg off too much time travel, and my puns are the tip of the iceberg. A new Borg baby can see that. I hope I don't Borg y'all. I don't Borg y'all. Oh, I hope I don't Borg y'all. Also, First Lady said, Juchi. Well done, Warrior. Well done, sir.
My buddy Crease just walks through the door.
Crease.
And Sean sent you a gift.
Oh, okay. On the way. Is it Crease 1984?
Yes.
I love
my
that
buddy.
year.
And Warrior of Justice says that he's going to open a new gas station and he's going to call it Bangway.
Nice. Nice. I'll be there. No, it's like Bucky's. Sean Carter says, hey now, Troy is no longer Counselor Camerto. She's Mistress Moose Knuckle. Wow.
No, Moose Knuckle is not.
Yourself. Oh my God.
Moose Knuckle is for dudes. Camel Toe is for chicks.
I'll take your word for it. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge. Says D-. The dating life of Tom P. and Harry K. No, nuclear energy metaphor wasn't as clever as the writers think.
Yeah.
Telepathic Kiss, no. The writers mixed energy weapons, and the terrorist had. The EMH doctor doesn't know that there are new passengers aboard Voyager. Repeat of the plot of all good things. It's like the writers think we can't remember.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yes, sir.
It's pretty bad.
Zathras says, I think we need an appearance of the Claboni. You know what, Zathras? I think you might be right. And Kreese says, the only Voyager episode by David Kemper, who then went to be the main writer for Farscape. That show was much better fit for him, I guess. Oh, there you go. Excellent. And our final review of this episode of the evening, of course, the great Mark D with the C, the chief engineer, says B-. Lots of timey-wimey stuff is a mess, but I'm giving it a better grade since I'm still shell-shocked by DS9. At least this episode admits what is crazy about the plot. Let's see here. Paris says, wait a minute. You're saying we're responsible for an explosion even though it occurred before our ship arrived here? Yeah. Cue Jim Carrey. So you're telling me there's a chance. Plus, at least the annoying kid didn't join the crew. Well, yeah, that's something. Hey, salty traveling.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super sticker, buddy. Appreciate that.
Hello. Welcome.
It's also good. It's always good to see you pop in. Thank you, man. I hope you are doing well, sir. And let's see here. And by the name Traveling, I take it you must be out there on the road somewhere. We'll be careful and have a great time out there doing the traveling, sir.
That's true.
Indeedishness. So we thank you for that. Let's see what. I guess we're ready to get on to the next one.
Okay, let's do it.
Who's ready for the next exciting episode?
Yeah, right. What did I read this? Oh, this isn't going to be good.
Here we go. Next episode, folks.
The Phage. Season 1, episode 5. This will show up as episode 4 if you're watching it on streaming. Ignore it. That's the corporations chopping it up for streaming. I want everyone to start noticing how much Voyager uses suffice it to say. It's in the scripts quite often, to the point where I think I'm going to do a check, which is probably what the editor should have done while they were filming it. But suffice it to say, this is the second time in, what is it, like 2 episodes, where they use suffice it to say, one time Janeway and the other time Tuvok. Ooh, you have a gift from JT Kirk, boss.
Thank you, JT Kirk. Hey, DJ Ronnie G's here. Hey there.
DJ Ronnie G.
Good to see you, DJ. Let's see here. DJ, I'm JT, sorry. Thank you, buddy. Robert Picardo is the real 13th Doctor. Absolutely. Agreed.
Okay. This is production code 105, and this first aired on February 6, 1995. I'm going to be reading from the companion, keeping copyright compliant, and I am going to start on page 17. Let's do this. About to partake in an unpleasant breakfast of ration pack number 5, love potion, whatever. Captain Janeway is even less pleased to find that Neelix has turned her private dining room into a makeshift galley for the crew. Before she can fully discuss the protocols involved in obtaining permission before redesigning parts of the ship, she and Neelix are called to the bridge. Voyager is approaching a planetoid that appears to be rich in raw dilithium, a resource for which the energy-low ship is in desperate need. During an away team survey of the planetoid, an unidentified alien attacks Neelix, leaving him for dead. Well, he doesn't attack him. He uses a... Anyway, Chakotay and Kim beam him to sickbay, where the doctor reports that his lungs have been removed, and he should be dead. Instead, he's sitting there gagging. Why the F is this happening? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going back to the book. Out of options for replacing the missing organs, the doctor fits Neelix with a set of holographic lungs that were created by using a blueprint provided from the transporter identification matrix. The experimental lungs will require him to remain confined in an isotropic restraint in sickbay for the rest of his life. Well, he could just end it. Janeway leads an away team back to the planetoid where they discover a medical lab filled with harvested organs. Unfortunately, Neelix's lungs are not among them. Minutes later, an alien ship speeds away from the planet. As soon as the away team returns to the ship, Janeway sets a pursuit course. In sickbay, despondent Neelix is having difficulty, sorry, the page is changing, adjusting to his situation and grows paranoid over what he perceives as Paris's interest in Kes. The EMH, still serving as the ship's only doctor, admits to Kes that he is also having a difficult time adjusting to the demands of a full-time physician. Kes's intelligent, soothing advice leads the doctor to think that the young woman may make a good medical assistant. Isn't she also becoming a botanist and running the entire farm for the ship now?
Right. What happened to that?
Whatever. This show's dumb. The vessel, because I'll talk about it later with my notes, with this whole thing with the lung. The vessel ion trail leads Voyager inside an alien asteroid. Deft piloting by Paris, combined with some technological investigation by the bridge crew, guides them to the alien ship. When confronted, the aliens, members of the Vididian sodality, defend their actions by recounting the battle that their species has fought for 2 millennia against the Phage, a gruesome disease that destroys their genetic codes and cellular structure. Well, that's the end then. Unable to defeat the Phage, they have learned to survive by scavenging organs from bodies of healthier species in order to replace their own diseased tissues. In rare cases, they have been forced to remove organs from living donors. Unfortunately, Neelix's lungs have already been transplanted into one of the Vidian's bodies. Unwilling to sentence the Vidian to death to regain Neelix's lungs, Janeway reluctantly releases the scavengers. Grateful to the captain for sparing them, the Vidians use their superior medical technology to enable Kes to donate one of her own lungs to Neelix. Okay, why? Why, if they had a full image of his lungs, why wouldn't they just print them? Like, why wouldn't they just replicate them? This is the dumbest plot ever in all of Star Trek. After the successful procedure, the doctor tells Kes that Janeway has granted permission for her to begin training as a medical assistant. And I'm not reading any more of this stupid episode. Boss, what did you think of this absolute, complete, and utter shite?
Oh, well, first let's say some thank yous here to our good buddy Cardinal Sid for some super chats really quick. Thank you, Cardi. He says Voyager had editors. Evidently not.
Evidently where are the editors here?
Neelix looks like MODOK. He does look like MODOK right there. Good point. Well, thank you, Cardi. All right. So, yeah, that episode happened. I don't know. I just, it's boring. I mean, I agree with all the other stuff you're saying as well. I mean, it was kind of, I mean, maybe the idea as far as what the aliens are, you know, that were stealing
beautiful idea
organs for people and all that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff with her, with you know, their plight, and you know, what Janeway goes, you know, in some of the serious moments with her between them, but that is okay. It's interesting. But why in the crap is, I don't know. You either have this level of technology or you don't. Now it's fine that these people have a higher technology, medical technology than Starfleet. I mean, the Federation. That's okay. Scott Knudsen, hey there.
Hey, Scott.
But I don't know. I need a better excuse for him not to be able to make a lung for Neelix.
Yeah, because the one that they give is absolutely the dumbest possible set of like, how could somebody be dumb enough to think that that's a good enough excuse? So they have what his lungs look like from their transporter records. Okay. So they make a holographic projection inside of his body. God only knows how. Inside of his body, what did they put? A mobile emitter that can go through flesh?
Right,
and they put it inside of his body. So why wouldn't they just use that exact same technology to replicate his exact lungs? There's no reason to take another species' lungs and adapt his body to accept those lungs. What the hell are you talking about? What are you doing right now? You just asked everybody in the audience to take the leap of faith that there were holographic lungs taken from the transporter records that are already in his body. Just go and grab some. Just go to a replicator and go replicate the lungs. Why are you saying? Oh, anyway, I'll get to it when I get to my notes. So dumb.
Scott Knudsen says the replicator, while admittedly a logical extension of transporter technology, really does break an awful lot of plots.
It does.
Well, and therefore they decided, and yes, that's true, Scott, but in this case, you have it exists, so you better come up with a better explanation.
Well, I think Scott's actually talking about the fact, too, that they're the ones who bring it up. They're like, we can't replicate it because of the nature of his physiology. And it's like, what are you talking about? You have to replicate it in a holographic projector. And how the hell did he live for like 25 minutes until they found him in the cave and then beamed him back to Voyager? If somebody takes your lungs out of your body, you're dead. You're not sitting there going, you have no lungs to even do that with. Who wrote this? They need to be shin kicked. And look, I don't advocate violence, but I'm telling you here, Klingon Rite of Ascension, Agony Booth, and even a rover should be done to these writers immediately. Anyway.
Yeah. We'll go for it with your notes then. Have a ball.
The Voyager episode that borrows its concepts and ideas from ethics, which is the TNG holographic spine for Worf. Woof. No.
Yeah.
Neelix even says they'd give their spinal columns. He makes a little joke where he's like, "Oh, I know species who give their spinal columns for mirror." It's like, okay, well, how much are you going to borrow from ethics? Is that a nod to the people in the audience who are clever enough to see that you took that idea and now you're trying to turn it into a whole episode and make it dumber? I've never wanted any characters to be together on Star Trek. I hate the shipping, and I hate that young girls like the shipping. It nauseates me. But I absolutely love the chemistry of Janeway and Chakotay. I think they're great together. And what's really bizarre to me is that I love that sexual chemistry between the two of them. I don't normally go for that kind of crap in Star Trek, but I don't mind it. I really like Chakotay. I find him charming. That Robert Beltran, he has $1 million smile. He's so charming, young, and handsome, and those two have great chemistry together. So I don't like that crap, but here I actually don't mind it. I hate Neelix, and I strongly dislike Kes. I just want to say I hate Neelix, and I strongly dislike Kes. Neelix disobeys orders, and they should just leave him behind. His lungs are beamed out of his body. Talaxians apparently can live without lungs for several minutes. Welcome to the dumb. Holographic lungs equal light. How did the doctor reinitiate his solid form after he disabled it? This is another thing. Where is the editor here? So the doctor looks at Paris and says, well, I can explain that to you right now. I can control whether or not I'm solid matter or if I'm like ethereal matter or pass through matter. But once he disables himself, how does he use his finger to turn himself back on? It should have been Paris. He should have said, may I borrow your finger, please, Paris? It would have been a funny moment and it would have brought the science home. But instead, he just disables himself and re-enables himself with his apparently ethereal thumb or finger, I mean. So it's just dumb. So, like, whoever is the editor here, shin kicks. Why would the lungs disappear after he left the med bay? Why are they saying this? Because they're asking you to believe that he has a mobile emitter inside of his body capable of projecting that light and turning it into physical matter. Okay? So is this Talaxian filled with lights? Projected from where? And is the light projecting through tissue? Nobody knows. Okay? Where is the emitter? It's not inside of Neelix, right? So how's it reflecting the light? Because that's what holographic technology is, folks. It's not magic. It's actually explainable. Gene Roddenberry discovered it from the guy who invented the technology in New York. He went out and hung out in his studio where he was developing holographic technology. Okay? And then Neelix breathes. And this is ridiculous. He even has the same reaction as Worf. I hate Neelix. I strongly dislike Kes. And I hate the sexual jealousy in this episode. She's a toddler. He's a fat old man. This is ridiculous. Please unplug him so I don't have to think about Neelix and Kes having intercourse. Okay? Because here they get all smoochy McSmoochy and it's really sick. It makes my skin crawl. And suffice it to say, is said again. It should be searched in all Voyager scripts. It's said here for the second time in 3 episodes. It's worth a check by the editors. The Vidians and the ethical dilemma are an A+, but the entire ethical dilemma lasts fewer than a few seconds on screen. It's less than a minute. So that A+ is lost. The Tuvok scene where he threatens the Vidians is an A+ scene, but it doesn't last long enough. Neelix and Kes share lungs. The most ridiculous, barf-worthy, dumb episode ever. And we're not just talking about science fiction to science fantasy. We're talking about somebody showing a diligence toward intellect of a double-digit IQ. The one thing doesn't follow another thing in a logical order. So even if it were science fantasy, you can't follow it because it doesn't make any sense. They can make holographic lungs and replicate them and put them inside of his body, and they work perfectly. But they can't replicate it in flesh and put it in his body because the doctor thinks that it's too physiologically complex. Okay. And then we have the doctor explaining how he becomes solid and then transparent or non-physical. And he presses the button when he's supposed to not be physical. So like you can't even apply just take a leap of science fantasy faith here. If you're a logical thinking person, you're hitting your head into the desk right now. Head desk, head desk, head desk. And then you look up from your desk after smashing your head into your desk. You see a 3-year-old making out with a fat old chicken man.
Oh, chicken man.
It's the chicken man. It's the chicken man.
By the way, Eric K gives super that he would like to know how. He says, I wonder how Raquel feels about Neelix and Cass. If you would mind clearing that up for him. If you'd mind addressing that for him. Oops, sorry.
Look, I hate Neelix and I strongly dislike Cass.
I hope that clears it up for you, Eric. F, eh? F?
Yeah, it's an F.
What you giving an F? Okay.
It should get worse than an F. Like, you shouldn't even degrade this crap. If you have a logical mind, if you can think about cause and effect, this follows this, your brain will work out that you are being treated like a moron.
Yeah. Victor Fontaine for the win. He says, we'll get on that. He says, need to pull the old Miles audio from Clubboni clip, replace it with I hate Neelix and strongly dislike Cass. That would be, well, we'll talk to the chief engineer, see what we can do. Scott Knudsen has also said you can't even grant them the usual suspension of disbelief because they go out of their way to break the rules that they themselves made up. That's
in the episode, Scott. You beautiful, amazing person with a beautiful and thoughtful mind. You have an adult mind. Isn't it infuriating? Because what they don't realize is that we want to suspend our disbelief. We want, but they can't even follow the rules they just made 3 seconds ago. Scott, I love you, Scott. Thank you, Scott.
I give it a B minus. It's not good. I mean, I like some of the stuff that you talked about that was interesting about the episode, but they just didn't spend enough time with it. Like the whole thing with the problem with what's going on with the Vidians or whatever. The stuff with the scene with the moral dilemma that Janeway is put into and stuff.
Yeah,
there's just too much stupid ass crap, and the Neelix stuff. And the way he acted about Tom Paris, who was trying to help him.
Violent and weird.
I hate him. I hate Neelix. The way
what does he mean by that? You like him, don't you? You're just going to be with Paris now. What?
That disturbing, possessive, undeservedly jealous crap about a guy who was, just trying to help him. And it was ugly. It was nasty. Yeah, it's crap. All right, so everyone,
Alan Turing, I totally agree. He says, yeah, the lack of attention to the details reminds me of the filth. Yeah,
it is filth level writing. Yeah, I mean, it really is. The filth does it all the time. I mean, that obviously, the filth is nothing but that. Whereas even some good shows make those mistakes a lot. But the filth is, there's nothing good about it. Anyway, yes, please start your reviews, my friends. And number one, we'll start getting the Red Ring. And we'll get this one. We'll knock this one out as fast as we can. No promises, but we'll knock it out. And I know you're all really concerned with this, but I'll eat it. Just for you all, I will eat a chip. Because I know you've been wanting me
Don't eat chips while I'm on with you. You know I want chips. Did you get plain chips?
No.
Did you get garlic and cheese?
Honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue. What are you doing? So
I'm hungry.
Mean. You're terrible. Why didn't you send me some chips?
I did.
I love chips.
I did send you chips. They're on the way.
Chips are the best.
I had Nick send them to you.
Oh, I love Nick. How is that fella, anyways?
Not too bad. We missed the Nick.
He's a few times
a week. So, all right. Well, here we go, folks. Lord Thought. His review of this one, D.
LT!
LT with a D. All right. Parker Luck said, D minus. Was the writer of this very bad episode experiencing their own form of having COPD? Just wondering, because it's a story of living. It's of living in an ash can. I don't know, Parker. I don't know. Fiona says writers must have been hung over from their vacation to Tijuana. A nightmare of organ transplantation was the best idea they could come up with after 48 hours of tequila, hookers, and blow. Yes. Which is why the episode blows. The Force did it. It's hard to dignify this kind of writing with a review. I will say there is no reason that ship is running low on energy, no matter how many batteries Bangway goes through.
That's true. That's true. I talk about that. I talk about that later in my notes, because it reaches a crescendo that I just cannot even handle. Zathras, I love Funyuns, by the way. Thank you for that, sir.
Oh, you do? Cool.
Yeah.
They have infinite access to solar energy and fusion. Fusion creates its own fuel. Antimatter they can create as well, and materials from mineral-rich asteroids if the replicators need raw material.
Oh, I'd like to welcome a new face, Carlos Magus. Welcome. It is so nice to meet you.
Really? Carlos? Well, welcome, Carlos. How do you say that? What sense?
It is spelled C-A-R-O, C-A-R-L-O-U-S. Magus.
All right. Great to see you there. Welcome, Carlos. Let's see here. Carlos, almost, right? So there you go. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Where were I? Okay. Oh yeah, Fiona. They could also recycle the waste.
That's right.
These writers actually destroy my faith in humanity. This show actually made me feel okay working on projects that could destroy the world. Yeah. You figure, world had its run. It was, you had your chance, world. Go to hell. Earth is over.
Goodbye, world.
Goodbye, cruel Earth.
It was fun while it lasted. Goodbye.
Indeed, it's over. Over. I came to my senses and left the military-industrial complex, but no thanks to Voyager. I had all but lost my faith in Star Trek until I joined the his clubhouse. Oh, well, thank you. I think he means me. I think she means Clubby's clubhouse. Glad I didn't blow you guys up an F. I'm glad you didn't too. Although, for more episodes like this, I may have to change my.
We might have to.
Yeah, we might have to start rethinking that one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fiona. I appreciate it. C says Scuba Pete, David Bowie. Phages turn. Phages turn and face the strange. Phages. Neelix, a lungless man. Phages best played on the organ. Wow.
Perfect. Beautiful, clever. He is the professor of pun.
Yes, the pontificator, the professor of punning.
He's puntastic. He's punerific.
The incredible pun. D minus, says JT Kirk. This episode is a brilliant metaphor for Bangway's inability to pursue suitable mates when she orders Voyager on a pursuit course, but can't catch the ship. Why didn't Neelix end it? I wish. Because he knows that's just what we wanted him to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
It would have been great if he would have been like, I can't. Like, if he would have been as brave as Worf, where he would have been like,
at least Worf wanted to end it. Yeah.
Yeah, Worf was just like, I'm not going to live like this.
But no. The Phage is an interesting idea, but the crew is far too lax when dealing with a freaky crew and a disease. Phages are viruses that attack bacteria. So what of the fork is the problem to the Vidians?
Yeah.
I think they come back, don't they? I think so.
I believe so, yes.
Eric K, the great bronze rinser, says D minus. This ship's sensors need fixing. Fire Bellana, they never work. They found over 100 tons of dilithium ore, yet found zero. They beam these people aboard and are not worried about catching this. Yeah. What's the dealio with that?
I know everyone doesn't like that.
They cannot replicate or grow new lungs. Since when? Since there was this dumb story. The hologram lungs should be fine any place in sickbay. The doctor works. The doctor works. Stupid reason. I bet they did not study this tool for a future. No. They've replicated. I remember episodes of Voyager where they've talked about doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Later, I think so.
It's ridiculous.
He used the transporter, used that to create lungs. Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's dumb.
Can't even follow your own basic rules. The Zapress says minus. I'm waiting for the doctor to draw a cow's head. Excuse me. That would be more interesting than this shite. By the way, I hate DS9 and strongly dislike Voyager. And Babylon 5 is better than both. Crap. Exactly. Not going to get an argument in these parts. Smilex says D. The B plot is dull, but anytime Neelix suffers and complains makes the show better for me. The Doctor steals every scene effortlessly. Didn't fall into a coma, so again, that's a Voyager win. Wow. Harsh.
So good. You've received a gift, boss. It's coming up in your file.
Bubba Doom said, F Neelix. F. Neelix should go out like he did in the Critters.
Yep.
Franchise, in the Critters franchise. Oh, he was in that? Okay. Never synced that, Bubba. I don't think I did. I don't think I've seen the Critters. Sean Carter, thank you so much, my friend. Says, your phasers must be set to pun because I'm laughing. Thanks, Sean. Let's see here. Did I mention that LT gave it a D?
LT!
Michael Beacom says D minus. One word, gross. My lovely lady, whose mom was on Earth and has worked in clinics for 25 plus years, completely lost it when they beamed disease-riddled aliens over to the ship without any precautions and then let them just walk around. Yeah, it was so stupid. Ew. For myself, I knew we were now watching an episode of Lost in Space when Tuvok scans Neelix and says someone stole his lungs. Had to rewind. Yep.
On Enterprise, they would have been put into a decon chamber.
Yep. And when he stole his lungs, is it like Spock's brain? We call the episode Neelix's lung.
It's true.
Had to rewind. Let's see here. And rewatch to make sure I heard that right. And now the aliens know there is a whole ship of useful organs flying around just waiting to be harvested. Just sad. The scenes with Neelix.
Oh, Zathras has to leave. Good night, Zath.
Take it easy, buddy.
Crap.
Glad you were here. And Cass are total cringe.
Yes.
The seed of a good episode, but buried under a mile of illogic and crap. After watching Dad and now Mom lose it, I expect the dog to hide when she hears the Voyager theme. Wow, expect the dog to hide.
Yeah,
that's a shame because that's the best thing about the show is the theme.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being a nurse and watching this because Neelix is there in the cave. They beam his lungs out of his body, and then they have to search around looking for him. That doesn't happen instantly. It would take them some time because, he was off where he wasn't supposed to be. So in all of the minutes that it took to retrieve him and then get him up on board, what? Yeah, it's just too ridiculous. I would challenge anyone who would accept this crap to beam their lungs out of their body and see how long they last.
It's so stupid. And Simply Steve says F rating, alt title F in rage. F in rage. Neelix needs new noodles now. Dr. Whoopsie Technobabbles, light into solid objects. Vidians were barely seen, so the plot existed, but didn't, like Neelix's hollow lungs. It left you hollow, didn't it? Boom, boom. Lisa says A, wonderful medical sci-fi with a bit of light comedy. Kate Mulgrew's acting was outstanding, conveying pain and anguish and having to deal with choice of losing due to high morals and ethics. Bravo. There you go. Lisa loves it. All righty. Let's see here. Linrod says, A. Oh, dang, I actually like this one. That's okay. So far, I think Neelix is an okay guy. He's a bummer. He's a bumbler. Oh, a bumbler, sorry. A bumbler. But his heart is in the right place. I felt pretty bad for him being stuck in the lung machine thingy. I said thingy, not you. Sorry. The lung machine. The moment when the doctor came up with the idea for the lungs was pretty dope. The moment when he okay. Picardo's acting was great. Well, I'm with you there. For sure. He's a great actor. Strange that the space duders have the ability to make anyone's organs work with theirs, and yet they can't duplicate their own organs. Very sus. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that's very sus. The asteroid full of mirrors was kind of silly, but the phaser bouncing was neat. I was amused when Neelix got defensive regarding Kess and Paris. I really don't blame the guy with a goyle, okay, like that. I'd be wary of Paris too. Lol. Let's see here. And I gotta say, I was totally on board with Neelix commandeering the captain's private eating space without permission. Cause suck it, Janeway. It's a fair cop. Thank you, Linrod.
I believe that she is now called Bangway.
Bangway, there you go. I might just start doing that. Thank you, Eric K. the Bronze Richard, for that super chat. He says, tool the aliens use to scan, operate, and install. Mm-hmm. Tool the aliens use to scan. Okay. I'm not sure what you were saying that for, but okay. I don't know the name of it, though. Shooter says C. Neelix wakes up in a bathtub missing his kidney weight lungs. This has an air of horror story to it. This could not be told in the Alpha Quadrant, as I'm sure Starfleet would have sorted this phage out. Okay. Fair enough. Janeway's hurt. Neelix stole her. Janeway's hurt. Neelix stole her private mess hall. Time to leave those privileges of rank behind. If you were going to survive this 70-year trip, better than rations any day of the week. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. The stuff he was cooking looked pretty nasty to me. I don't think I would eat anything Neelix cooks. Hollow lungs, I like it, but Raquel makes a great point that there is other possibilities. The Vidians have been doing this for 2,000 years. Surely they would have died out by now. All right, Shooter, absolutely. And I cannot fault Bangway's decision to let Vidians go free. Alternate title, The Iron Lung, is singing a part of the Doctor's program. Well, it will be. Maybe. All righty then. Let's see what we got. Oh, JT Kirk had a second one. I thought the phage is an interesting idea, but the crew is far too lax when dealing with a freaky crew and a disease. Phages are viruses that attack bacteria. So, did I do that one already? I just forgot to unstar it. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, dude. Scott Knutson also said, why take just his lungs? If you're condemning him to death anyway, why wouldn't they chop the whole body up for spare parts? F-. That's a very good point. A very well made point there, Scott. I like it. Eric K says, Clobby and Raquel, because you were confused on my review when I said I bet they did not study the tool for future use. Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, just misunderstood it. My apologies, buddy. Can we get a poll for Bangways and Janeway, please? Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I don't even think you need a vote. Everybody in the chat already said Bangway it is.
Okay, well, I might give them leverage for the fun of it. What's lungs got to do with it? Got to do. Oh, dude.
It's so
What
good.
Lungs? What a second hand.
It's so good.
If your lungs were removed, you'd bleed into your abdomen and expire within seconds.
I just want to say that without saying anything, that this person that is talking actually has the medical knowledge, like the education to be able to say that.
Okay,
if your lungs were taken out of your body, you would bleed to death and expire in seconds. You wouldn't have people looking around in a cave for you and beaming you up and then being examined and then having things put inside of your body. That would never happen. It's dumb.
Joseph, I thought I got your number 2. Maybe I didn't. I'm sorry, Joseph. You had 2 of these. I thought you had 1. My apologies, buddy. Dumb. They violate their own hologram rules in the next fracking episode. Paris says the Harry can't get drunk on holographic wine because it's light. I'm sorry about that, buddy. I just totally forgot it. It did. Thank you, Cardinal Sin, for the super chat, buddy. He says, "Oh crap! I just half remembered they encounter a huge time ship captained by the dad from the 70s. That 70s show, right?
Yes.
Eventually, yes, they do.
It's true, they do.
John Carter from Marseilles. C for me. I have to remember the entire staff is trying to pivot from DS9. I can sense the effort in these stories and the desire to pull away from the soap opera. Well, this was going along. There weren't even to the most soap opera parts yet of DS9 when this was happening right here. Remember, DS9 had only been around a couple of years at this point. Soap opera for that, I tipped my cap. Bit of my cleanse of Netflix and Neelix, sorry, and Cass. Every time he calls her sweetie, I want to pee you.
Yeah, me too. It's so grody. It's grody to the max, man.
Now,
so sick.
This will be our final review for this episode by the great chief engineer Mark D with a C. He says B+. Really? I have to beat up on him. I thought
you're agonizing, please.
I thought the use of the holodeck to create virtual lungs was interesting and good sci-fi. Neelix's plight paralleled the horror of kids with polio who got stuck in an iron lung for life. The image actually seemed to show compassion for a moment as he contemplated the fate of a patient who wanted to self-delete. Unfortunately, the character of Neelix is so unlikable. Boy, is he ever. And Jar Jar like that this negates the emotional resonance some of these scenes should have. P.S. Why did the villains from Star Trek Insurrection show up in Voyager? Why not? Why not, I say. So are we ready to get away from this one?
We are. Can we please?
Well, hell, why not?
Let's do it.
It's time for our, I believe, this will be our final episode of the evening.
It is. And JT Cook just sent you a gift.
Okay. Oh, thank you. It's called The Cloud. Whoop. That's the wrong thingy. Where's my episode? Where did I put it?
That was The Cloud, boss. You just had the cloud up.
Oh, I did?
Club. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I did.
That's it, sweetheart.
Put it up again for another. I'm an idiot. All right, okay. Okay, so let me go find that. All right, here we go. So take it away, number one. I'm going to go get some medicine.
Okay.
After I say thank you to JT Kirk for that. My typing Netflix repeatedly broke Clobby. It did.
I love it.
I'm broken. I'm broke. Be right back.
This is The Cloud. This is season 1, episode 6. It's production code 106, and it first aired on February 13th, 1995. I will be extemporaneously reciting excerpts from the companion, page 20. Concerned about the low morale and her own inability to mingle with her crew, Janeway hopes to raise spirits with an exploration of a nebula emitting a high level of Omicron particles, which could prove useful for the ship's dwindling energy reserves. Chakotay suggests that the captain may improve her own mood with the help of an animal guide, an ancient Native American tradition in which she can seek counsel from I have to change the page, creature believed to accompany her throughout life. Janeway accepts the invitation for a later time as they reach the nebula. Shortly after, Voyager enters the cloud-like formation. It encounters an energy barrier that brings the ship to a dead stop. Gee, that happens every week. The ship breaks through the barrier and continues its penetration of the nebula's inner reaches. Can't help it. It's too funny. Where it is bombarded by unidentified globules that pass right through the shields and attach themselves to the hull. With the globules draining the ship's energy reserves, Janeway orders the crew to leave the nebula. Reversing course, they are unable to break through the now strengthened energy barrier, and the crew is forced to use one of their few remaining photon torpedoes to blast their way out. It's just so funny, I can't help it. While Torres examines one of the energy-draining globules, Paris invites Kim to the holodeck, where he has created a touch of home in the form of a holograph recreation of Paris's favorite hangout back on Earth, a bar called Sandrine's. Torres interrupts Janeway's first attempt to contact an animal guide with the surprising discovery she and the doctor made regarding the globules. Torres explains that the globules are organic elements as much of a much larger life form. The nebula they thought they were investigating was actually a living entity, and the phenomena they have encountered were part of the life form's natural defense systems. Thankfully, not reproductive systems. Sorry. Concerned that the encounter may have caused the entity serious injury, Janeway proposes returning and repairing the harm they have done once they are back inside of the life.
What are you entertaining yourself with this one?
Yes, because it's just so obvious when it's trying to. Anyway, the crew prepares to irradiate the wound with a nucleonic beam. The attempt is interrupted when the entity's natural defense systems again attack the ship, forcing it away from the wound. Although the ship sustains minor damage, the crew is able to return to the wound by riding the energy currents Chakotay believes made up the entity's circulatory system. At the energy barrier, the doctor suggests a method of suturing the wound, which they managed to do after distracting the entity's defense systems with a microprobe. Just before the wound heals, Voyager escapes from the cloud and sets course for a planet where they will be able to replenish their depleted energy reserves. The threat over, Kim invites the captain to Sandrine's, where he surprises the crew with her pool playing expertise. And that's all the companion has to say about the cloud. What you think of this episode, Claudia?
Well, you've made me like it a lot better now. Because you're hilarious. I mean, Ray Cardinalson, thank you, buddy. He wrote, if Voyager had called the police, this would never have happened. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Well, this was one of those, we have to, I mean, it's not like necessarily like they would do on Deep Space Nine, but it kind of, what we were still young we're gonna need some episodes for them to be doing stuff so we can start unfolding our characters more. We need more. We need to start letting the characters breathe. It's one of those. And we need, but at the same time, we need to do something Star Trek-y out there. I'm going to give them full points for that, actually. They run into a mega cropper. Good to see you.
Hey, Mega Cropper. How's it going?
Yeah, good to see you there always. And so, but they're also at the same time that we do have to have some sort of a Star Trek type of thing happen, run into this alien life form being that's so out there and stuff, the kind of thing you'd see on TNG a lot, really. Which that kind of reminds me more of that than anything else. I can't say I had anything I particularly hated like you may have. I just didn't really, I wasn't all that excited either. I mean, I kind of like some of the stuff with the alien, life form itself. I thought that was a little intriguing. But I got to tell you, I don't understand with all that stuff going on and all that trouble, why they're jerking off on the holodeck. In fact, why are you wasting power on the holodeck? I thought power was at I'm
going to talk about that in my notes. Yeah, it's absurd, And this is what I mean. It's not that you're refusing to suspend disbelief. It's not, and this isn't a matter of science fantasy versus science fiction. This is a matter of treating your viewer or your reader like a moron. When you say one thing, and then in the next scene, you're doing something that shows that first scene does not matter. If you're an intelligent person, the first thing you say is, what? Like it just pulls you directly out of the story. And you're like, okay, so 20 people were sitting in a corporate Hollywood room trying to bang out a story, and there were too many of them, and there was no editor to catch this. This is crap. I was
down with everything until they just went to the holiday. I mean, this is like a serious situation going on. They're trying to deal with a problem, and then they go, let's go wank around on the holodeck. I'm like, wait a minute. The ship's in danger. Last I checked, maybe, and your power's at a premium right now. You don't even have full replicators. You don't have and you playing with the freaking holodeck. Why?
Yep.
So since you guys must not really think you're all that big of a danger. So why am I, as a viewer, going to get wrapped up in the excitement of in other words, it'd be like the doomsday machines going on, and Spock and McCoy said, well, this sucks. You want to go get a sandwich? Let's go play some 3D chess. Well, who knows? I mean, that ship will be fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it just makes you like, well, the thing is that I understand if you don't have, if you're not from STEM. Like, I understand that some people might be able to overlook it if they're not from STEM, but I am. And so I find it insulting. So I've always been interested in the technology aspects of our civilization. And of course, I've always been interested in outer space, thanks to Star Trek TOS. And so one of the first things you learn about when you're very young is the way that energy is handled and the grossness of what it's going to take to move energy forward and to move through space for long periods of time. And so just the way that energy is handled here. Yeah. Why are they on the holodeck? Hey, why are they eating field rations? Hey, why do they have an open fire and they're cooking all of this food, exhausting all of this carbon dioxide into the air? Where's this extra food coming from? And how come it's not being recycled? Because in space, you recycle elimination, you recycle defecation, you recycle all of these things. And this is in the forethought of someone's mind if they've studied science or if they're from STEM. And so it's very hard to buy into it. And I'm right there with you. The first thing I think of is, you want me to be all worried. Why are you in the holodeck? And why are you telling me there's this energy crisis? What energy crisis? You're in the holodeck.
And they're playing around with their spirit animals and all this other kind of crap. It's like, there's no sense of jeopardy in the episode because of that. But
yeah.
Go with notes.
This is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids again, but it also reminds me of my preteen offspring watching the Magic School Bus. And I think it's absolutely bizarre that J.T. Kirk said that, because that's instantly what I think of Miss Frizzle, and I think of my preteen watching the Magic School Bus, because this is that Magic School Bus episode. 100% it is. Only there's some sexual innuendo in there that I just find very uncomfortable. Anyway, people, in other words, experts, I put in parentheses, complain about the incorrect medical and scientific word salad in this episode. So specifically, people from science and people from medicine complain about the word salad here, and what apparently the diction is used incorrectly. I can't speak to that. I'm not a doctor. I do love Harry Kim's loyalty as he discusses the captain's loneliness. I think it's really beautiful, and I think it's wonderful because we see this sort of mother and son relationship happening betwixt Kathy I talk to close to the face and cute little Harry Kim. I hate Neelix and I strongly dislike Kes. I hate Neelix and I strongly dislike Kes, her old wigs and her new wigs. Because of course this is her new wig, so that was my snotty way of saying that she has a new wig. The energy usage on this show has always bothered me. We're only on episode 6. A ship in Voyager's class shouldn't need plugging in, as it were. I use quotes around that, and should be able to use its replicators. All elimination, defecation, food scraps, exhausts coming off of the ship, and exhausts happening within the ship, etc., are all recycled, and that's the crux of Star Trek, and many scientists discuss it in a hopeful way, and that is this concept of we've cracked energy. We are an energy-enriched society at this point. So it's preposterous to me that this is happening when we know the NCC 1701D is out there, and unless something catastrophic happens, those systems should be working. So the amount of jeopardy using the holodeck makes no sense, and no one should be using the holodeck. If you can't have a cup of coffee, no one should be using the holodeck and drinking wine on the holodeck. Why are you drinking wine on the holodeck and drinking beer on the holodeck when the boss wants to have a cup of coffee? Personally, you can't even have a discussion with me until I've had a cup of coffee. I mean, I pity the fool who would even try to engage with me before I have a cup of coffee. Janeway would have learned about animism in school. This is another thing I don't like. As a captain and as somebody who studied science, why doesn't she know about animism? So I've studied communications, I've studied technology, and I've studied writing. And when you study Comtech, there is a great deal of philosophy as you study sociology and so on and so forth. And so whenever you get into STEM and you start to get into graduate school, and you're going to have to be dealing with people, as she will, because she's going to excel as a captain of people. Why wouldn't she know about this? Of course she would know about this, because she would need to study some exobiology. So not even human beings would just partake in animism. Many different species would participate in animism. So the fact that she sits and listens to Chakotay say this, to me, it makes her seem almost like a little girl and quite uneducated. I think it's dumb. As a captain, she would have been to graduate school and she would know all about this. Neelix and Kes kiss. And then I wrote barf in yelling all caps, underlined it twice, and used superfluous exclamation points. And then look, it's close talking Kathy. That's when you just take the palm of your hand, you put it on her cute little nose, and push her back until your arm can't reach anymore. I just want to say how much I love nerd and geek men. And I'm going to say this as a social scientist, as somebody who studies human behavior and digital tribes and how folks get along. Nerds and geeks are like no other men. I love that the nerd and the geek communities love older women as much as younger women. This is a reoccurring theme, especially in the geek community. Maybe not even so much in the nerd community. I mean, the nerd community is a little bit like that, but it's really the geeks. Geeks are completely unafraid of drooling over young women as well as middle-aged women. If a woman is very attractive, it doesn't matter how old the geek guy is. He will say, "My God, she's beautiful." And we see this when Paris goes into the pub and there's a very young woman and there is a decidedly older woman. That woman is definitely using oil of Olay or some kind of concoction, right? And yet, all of the men find her incredibly attractive. So, and this is a reoccurring theme in Star Trek and in all of geekdom. And the more I get to know geeks, because I'm a nerd myself, the more I'm blown away by how you guys do have none of the weird hangups other men from other social groups have about the age of a woman. I have continually sat in a room of between 200 and 300 of you while you all talk about older women who you find devastatingly beautiful, attractive. You make sexual jokes about how you want to be with those women, and you do it, if not more, for the older women than the younger women. It's extraordinary, and it just makes me love geeks. So I had to put that in my notes because I'm observing a behavior that I would love to see studied within your little social group. I think it's magnificent. They have dramatically changed Tom Paris's character in this episode, and this is much, much better. Tom Paris is now incredibly likable. He's a ladies' man. He's got a girl on either arm, and now he's charming. He's not this sullen, sulking, insulting, chip on his shoulder little brat who you just wanted to boot in the rear end. Now he's fun. Chakotay says he's never shown anyone his medicine bundle. I have some questions here. How did Chakotay get his medicine bundle off of his Maquis ship when he was being chased into this situation where he had to blow up the Kazon ship? Janeway's animal is a salamander. And anyone in the chat who's watched this series all the way through knows this is foreshadowing. Salamander. And that you should all be laughing right now.
Oh, boy.
If Chakotay has never shown his medicine bundle to anyone, why does B'Elanna Torres walk into the room with her own account of going on the same journey with Chakotay? She had the same experience with Chakotay. Who is writing this complete and utter shite? How openly stupid and careless in writing and in editing. Just stop. If you tell me one thing, you can't say the opposite thing in the next sentence. Fourth episode where they caused the problem and they must solve it. Fourth episode in a row. The new poker table is the pool table. This is fine by me. I love them both. I love this holodeck program, but why are they using the holodeck when they're in an energy crisis where they don't even have food? I absolutely love that Janeway, when she's in the pub, she says to Chakotay, "Commander Chakotay, your stick." You can't even make it up. It's just so good. Anyways, painfully predictable. That's all I wrote.
Well, there you go. So what is your rating of the Cloud?
It's a D.
A D. Yeah. Oh, Das Wolfen. Speaking of D's, D is
Das Wolfen.
There you go. Yeah, well, I didn't mind it that much. I think my biggest problem was some of the illogic of the using the power and all of the kind of horse hockey. For the most part, I found it fairly mild. The holodeck distractions kind of chop it down a bit for me, but I thought I did find the life form, all the stuff with the life form, fairly interesting. And it was so I probably I gave it like a C minus. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of, I'm gonna have plenty of use for D's and worse down the road. So I didn't find it to be that particularly annoying or even unentertaining. Really, it's just sort of okay. But yeah, it's got a lot of crap in it. So, all right, well, everyone, please come at us with your reviews now of our final episode of the evening, and I'll look at some super chats we have here.
Super chats.
Oh, that was from before there. Voyager had called the police. That would have never happened. Gotcha. From thank you, Phil, by the way. Gil, by the way. Gil, Phil, listen to me. JT Kirk says, was it? This is a clear ripoff of the Magic School Bus. Okay, gotcha. Scott Knudsen said, traditionally we expect Star Trek to respect STEM and foster interest in it, not contempt. Sorry if that sounds harsh, but I'm 3 drinks in. Nothing wrong with that, Scott, at all. Thank you so much.
Nothing to be to apologize
Saturday
for.
Night.
You have been delightful this evening, and please continue.
Thank you.
In the discussion, because I am so happy that you are here. You are a delightful human being.
Indeed, we really appreciate you, sir. And of course, the great Eric K says, "How does Raquel feel about Neelix and Kes?" I've been wondering that myself. Any answers for Eric? He's curious,
Sorry about that. I'm about 4 seconds behind you guys as per usual. I hate Neelix and I strongly dislike Kes and her new wig.
There you go. And her new wig. Okie dokie. Smilex, thank you so much for being here tonight. First, I'll say that the great Lord Thoth finishes up another D. Died. So thank you to the great Lord Thoth. Smilex says, D-. Where was Troy when you needed her? To point out the bleeding obvious. Yeah. Captain, I'm sensing some emotions from the spacey wacy cloud. Script written in crayon by frothy mouthed clowns. Next. Nicely done, Smilex. Thank you.
Savage. Just beautiful.
Love it.
Just savage. I'm loving it.
Way to be up in you. Simply Steve says C rating. Alt title. The only sex allowed. They come into the energetic nebula. They then get down by holodecking around, wasting vital energy when low already.
Yeah.
Bang way to the rescue.
Yes.
Well done, you old rascal, you. JT Kirk says, a D. The Netflix and Kiss is so far fracking gross.
Right?
It's strange that the NCC 1701 no bloody A, B, C, or D can go on a 5-year mission, but the Voyager runs on empty after 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Replicate a damn pool table. They did
instead of coffee.
Yeah. Chipotle has never shown a woman his medicine bundle. Bangway's spirit animal is a Karen. Whoa. Miss Frizzle is the better captain. Change my mind.
Seriously, JT Kirk, my offspring watched that episode, and I know the exact episode you're talking about, and it is like, oh, it's so ripped off. It's very similar. It's very similar. Disturbingly similar.
Fiona says, since when did Federation ships run on Omicron energy? Whatever that is. You should get your energy from a star and not a planet. That's crazy. Starships make their own energy anyway.
They do.
True.
And the people in the ships are exhausting and creating energy. And that's also collected. Your poop, your peep, you're breathing.
In this episode, Voyager itself became space herpes. I really couldn't stop laughing. There were some interesting ideas. Again, just not fully formed and poorly executed.
Gotcha.
C-. Yeah, indeed. Linrod says, B. There's coffee in that there nebula. Yeehaw! Surprise! Such a fun line came out of Bangway. My only complaint is the hole in the space critter. The hole in the space critter. The hole they made was barely as big as Voyager. The space critter is 7 astro-freakonomical units in size. I highly doubt that this creature even felt, let alone got hurt by them in any way. Good point, Linrod. Good point. That hole is equivalent to less than the size of a cell on a person. Yet they had to go back, endanger themselves, waste energy in order to patch up the hole. That's less than nothing. Dumb. Well said. All I want now is a magic box. Is the magic box that can make me trip balls in order to help me find my spirit animal. It's a fair cup. Gil Cardinal Sin says they honestly couldn't come up with a better name for the episode than the Cloud. Yeah, I guess not. And here I thought Voyager would make a good palate cleanser after New Trek. No dice. Got to move on to the 9th rewatch of Enterprise for that. Well, I can't. I'm looking forward to getting to Enterprise, but we're gonna have to get to this one first, at least in our case. Captain Infinity and Beyond says just watching Enterprise season 4 almost immediately with Time War. Yeah, I hated that beginning, but other than that, it gets good. After that, Malibu aborted. Timeline nonsense. Another epic fail. D-. Yeah,
Scott has sent you a gift. Sorry for interrupting you both.
Okay, that's right. I actually love Enterprise, but I won't defend the time travel stuff. So. Let's see here. Thank you again, Scott. Appreciate that. He says, can I just point out that Khan accomplished more with a couple of cargo containers than Voyager did with a whole crew and fully functional starship? That's because it's just a genetically engineered intellect.
Yours is a superior.
Bubba Doom 1 says D-. Only because Raquel laughed so hard reading the synopsis. I hate Chipotle. He is a punchline of a character. All the writers needed is to have him chugging a can of Aquanet Eneg Chuck. Whoa. Eneg Chuck. Wow, dude.
That's crazy.
The great Mark D with the C. Eric K. Sorry about that, engineer. We'll get you in a minute. D. They eject all of the power they have, and then a moment later, everything is fine. They have no power, yet have plenty of power for the holosuite.
Yeah.
Dex, in this case. Neelix and his 3-year-old girlfriend is you.
Yep.
Yes, sir. I must concur. Cardi said, we substituted Voyager's dilithium with Folger's crystals. That's why.
I love that. I love that. I saw that in the chat. I was like, that is cherry.
Sean Carter from Mars says, B for me, just for the coffee line. Woe to the soul who gets between me and my coffee in the morning. I'm right there up in here with you.
Sean, I'm dangerous.
Shooter C-. Says, so what do we have? A commentary on the usual necessary divide between ranks. Make sure it makes sense, but a little dull. A living cloud, not a bad concept, and the way the story plays out is okay. Tuvok lectures Harry on comments made on the bridge, upsetting, worrying junior officers. Harry, the most junior officer of them all. Weasley Crusher was less junior than Harry. Wow. The quest for coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I don't see the appeal outside of coffee being addictive. Weeks out of a port, and this long-range ship is running out of gas. Yep.
I'll explain what coffee feels like. You wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, Self, this is the morning, and I want nothing to do with it. Then you take a sip of the coffee, and a little invisible hand inside of the cup of coffee goes, smacks your face, and suddenly you're awake, and you're like, thank you, coffee.
I'm never like an everyday coffee person, but every other day or so I do. But I get up at weird hours. But I had me some caramel coffee. I love that stuff.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Caramel macchiato. Das
Oh,
Wolfman
caramel
says,
macchiato's so good.
I can't get used to normal coffee anymore. I've spoiled myself with it. Das Wolfman says, I'm at a con and was engaged until just about an hour ago. Whoa, really? Are you at San Diego? That's going on right now. But I'm glad I got here in time to catch part of the show. If I remember this episode correctly, this is the Coffee Nebula episode D for me. You remember it correctly, apparently. Well done, Das. The AI show says D+. Optional title, cloudy with a chance of plot points. An episode with a cloud and not a meteorologist inside. Maybe Voyagers had temps for writers at this point. John Carpenter couldn't save it. Yeah. Good call. Yes, sir. Lisa says, a thoroughly enjoyable episode delving into Janeway's psyche. To be aloof or involved. A team building episode. Sure, quirks with the ship energy deficits. I willingly look over. Fun with Neelix's bad cooking. Yeah. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you. Fiona also said that's 93 times 7 million miles.
Yeah,
that's the size almost of the original Voyager cloud. It was 82 AUs. Wow.
Yeah. But the thing is you could trust the Voyager cloud because we had experts there. We had astrophysicists there, physicists. Isaac Asimov was on speed dial as they tried to figure out what sounded plausible and what didn't. So, yeah, it's pretty sad, isn't it?
Thank you, Sean Carter. So Chipotle never had... No, this is to crack me up when this is. Chipotle never had a second cup of coffee at home. I like that reference. The old Folgers, commercial mixed in with airplane. Coffee is victory. Coffee is life, says J.G. Kirk. Thank you, buddy. Michael Beacom says, D. Imagine the writer's room. Hey, remember the immunity syndrome? Yeah. Let's redo it, but be nice to the huge cell instead of blasting it. Well, that's basically it. I used to have a foam brick to throw at my computer monitor when frustrated. Going to have to get one again to watch this. You're running out of power, but can run a holodeck. Make up your minds, people. Jeez. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Right there on the same page with you, sir. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge, says. There's coffee in that nebula. Too bad that was the amoeba nebula Neelix calls the crew natural-born idiots. He was actually right about that part. No self-awareness for Neelix. Yeah, true. They lose deuterium fuel in the creature. They go from rations to wasting energy in the holodeck. Bangway almost gets picked up by a holographic French gigolo. Yeah. Did Quark slip on board and reprogram the holodeck?
Yeah.
Yes, probably did.
I think that's Paris's program.
Could be. Probably. Yeah, this is. He probably got it from Quark. This final review of the evening by the great chief engineer Mark D with a C. Pop in if you feel like it, brother. Come on in if you know the way. He says C. Poor imitation of the immunity syndrome. This show added nothing new to where we had gone before.
Nope.
It added to the holodeck. No, it didn't really do that even. How does a starship with an antimatter reactor run out of power? Are they charging too many? Teslas at once? Chakotay seems way too willing to show all of the ladies his bundle. Yada yada.
You naughty boy! Get your butt in here.
Get in here, chief engineer. I hope if he's hearing this, he'll pop in. So, wow, we got past our first week of 4 episodes. What do you think?
Just speaking a little bit to the conversation going on in the chat, there are several studies that reveal that or explore the idea that certain people are born with a typical circadian rhythm. So they go along. They're able to get up very early in the morning and they go to bed very early in the evening, and they repeat. But there appears to be a lot of creative, intellectual, and artistic people who find it difficult to go to bed very early. In fact, they are at their most creative in the evening. And I find, that a lot of folks who are in academia, who are in science, or who are creative or artists, I find a lot of them are what would be called a nighthawk, just people who stay up really late. And I find those are the folks who use the most coffee. I use coffee in that way. And I'm an oddball when it comes to being an author. Most authors brag, especially people like Stephen King and stuff, about how they have to have artificial joy or introduce different types of chemicals to their body in order to be able to write. I don't do that. I don't write while I'm inebriated. In fact, I don't drink at all when I write. I don't use any kind of drugs whatsoever. I write with coffee. And some people would call that a drug, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm not that square. But it is about the fact that I am most creative in the evening. Perhaps it's because I was raised in a band, and that's my schedule. So, but apparently, according to science, those schedules are passed down to us through our DNA, through our parents, and they're really difficult to change. And so it's something that is interesting that you might want to look up. There is a reason why you need that coffee when you are trying to work against your DNA, what your body finds natural. So something to think about.
Well, I'm not allowed to have caffeine, so hello to everyone. But wait. So I'm playing a very tiny violin. No, just kidding. But
am I here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to say, got the thing going fast. Das Wolfen, thank you. It's as bad as it is, still better than Klutzman Trek. Well, what is it? That's not even Trek. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. Now go.
Oh no, sorry. I was just
fine now.
I didn't see the super chat, so I apologize.
Oh.
But yeah. So nope. But I just can't have caffeine ever since the doctor told me I'm not allowed to, and I'm not supposed to drink or have any kind of fun whatsoever. So yeah, it is when you have that as a crutch and you're used to it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I can't have caffeine. And you find other ways to stay awake, and one of them is by not watching the last season of Star Trek DS9.
Season 7.
Season 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good now.
But hey, I'll tell everyone in the chat.
Have a great night. Thanks for being here, Smilex.
Is leaving?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, shift over. Got a split. Yep. Thanks to the crew and the chat folks. Great as always. Good night, Smilex.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And I do have 2 very short treats for tonight that I'm going to upload now. I think if we have room, hopefully we have room for them. Only 2, they're 2-seconders, and I think one of them we're going to end up using over and over and over again. We have to
ditch something else.
I might have to ditch something else.
I know what to ditch. These are vids you're talking about?
Yeah. These are just...
Well, because we got a bunch of B6 Mind stuff that doesn't really apply anymore. You know?
Or we could always put it on the brand 2 or brand Ek.
You'll have them. I won't have them anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, Lynn Barnett. It's good to see you. Lynn Barnett is here.
Oh.
Haven't seen that name in a while.
Welcome. Good to see you.
But here we go. Since the Doctor, the EMH is my favorite character on Voyager. Always loved that, and of course the implications of it too are, it was explored in Star Trek of artificial life. What's AI? And it's even more in the news now as we've got, Google just added, AI to their writing programs and their spreadsheets, and you had chatbot. I mean, we've had AI before, and you've had your Echo devices you can talk to, which is really just a response, but You know, think of it when when Voyager came out. If you told me I would have a phone I could talk to or a device I could talk to and say, bleep, you know, hey Echo, what's the weather tomorrow? Or, you know, so I think you would actually see more use of AI or more androids or EMHs in the Star Trek world. I guess the limitation is the computing power that it would take and you know, the energy. But here's a tribute to the Doctor.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Neelix, not a decorator.
Right. Yeah, so he says that a few times, and of course, this clip, as we were watching, you know, Neelix gets his lungs stolen. Of course, Eric K was making the joke, and I was thinking about it the whole time. Spock's brain, right? You know, that's
Yeah.
you're
A
just
lot of people think that with this episode.
yeah. So I didn't have time to do a mashup, but we have this clip, and I think we're going to use it a lot.
Brain and brain. What is brain?
That's just a good one, just to hit every once in a while, right?
Gil James Babel. Who is that?
I don't know. Who is that?
I don't know.
Is he a time traveler?
I think I know that guy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a totally new
Gil
person.
James Babel guy? I know that guy.
I don't know. It's a whole new person. Welcome, Gil James Babel, who I've never met before.
Make sure you like the stream with that account too. Yeah.
A warm welcome to a first time friend, Gil James Babel.
But yeah, you guys were your average. I'm doing my spreadsheet as we go, so I don't have to do as much work down the road. And
you and the spreadsheets.
Yeah, me and my spreadsheets. Everyone loves the spreadsheets, right? That's why they all watch the show just for the spreadsheets at the end of the end of the episode. So let me.
Everyone loves it.
I gotta sum these up here, but it's not looking good for our friends to start off this season of Voyager.
Yeah. Sure, there's plenty of fine episodes.
I mean, I like some of it. I think it's just at least they're back exploring. But yeah, so Raquel's. I don't have your ratings for your first episode, but Raquel is a 1.0 average, and CLOBBERIN is a 1.5. I'm giving it much higher grades, like a B minus so far.
Well, you do that sort of thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Michael Bingham says, when Robert Picardo auditioned for the Doctor, he got the part by ad-libbing when he complains about being left on. Picardo added when he complains being left on.
Oh, when they don't turn off his program, I guess.
No, left
right?
on. Left on, right.
Yeah.
I'm a doctor, not a nightlight. Yes. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Remember when he had a line in First Contact? I'm a doctor, not a doorstop.
Yeah. And such a great idea for a character too. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're, your doctors can't, your doctor's either killed or you're overwhelmed. You know, you create virtual assistants, right? Like, and holograms can move things and do, they can move matter in the holodeck, right? So, it's interesting, yeah.
What happened to our subtitles?
I don't know.
Our names. Our name tags are gone.
I didn't change anything.
I didn't either.
I definitely didn't touch anything because you guys know I never do that because I don't like to freak Clobby out.
Well, here, show display names. There you go. I just turned them on. You scroll all the way to the top under brands. You keep going all the way to the top, past the logos.
I never turn them off. It just turns himself off. I guess.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah, screw those. Scroll off of them.
It's above the logos. Yep. So
okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks.
There's actually there's a keyboard shortcut for it too. So sometimes you could like hit a keyboard combination and turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I never remembered anyway.
So by accident though, that stuff can happen. Yeah.
Cool.
I could show those.
Got something for us?
Well, I think most people have seen it from the clubhouse, but just in case, maybe some people didn't see my new slippers, and these are the perfect slippers for Star Trek fans. And if you're feeling very tired right now, right? So here, let me switch my mic over here.
All right, everybody. Slippers. These are slippers, by the way. If you hadn't seen these the other night on the clubhouse, those are slippers, folks. Of course, the Galileo 7.
I mean, they're really well detailed. You know, it looks just like the Galileo 7.
Have you worn them? Have you worn them yet? No.
Well, I don't want to. I'm going to keep them mint. I will wear these, yeah. And he's giving the Gorn and Khan a ride, right? Yeah.
I can drive my own slippers. I drive slippers, Captain. My friend Khan. I hope you know him.
Absolutely love your Gorn impression.
Oh, thanks.
The best, yep.
No, it's like really, really good.
So yeah, so you can find these on the Amazons. Let's see, what's the bottom?
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and the other thing I found was
Bones is the best.
Tea.
No question.
Space tea.
I like Phlox, though.
Well, you're going to want to be careful with space tea. Make sure you're not taking any space tea.
Who gave you
the world's finest mushroom tea and lemonade?
Mushroom.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now that you should probably not drink that because
don't drink that.
Where did you get that?
You drank that?
Yeah, I drank it. Yeah, it's just lemonade and tea.
It's just lemonade. Okay, yeah. In
yeah,
Canada,
lemonade.
I definitely don't want you drinking that.
What is mushroom tea?
And lemonade, yeah.
What the hell is mushroom tea? I can't stand mushrooms.
You don't like mushrooms?
Or as my husband Andrew refers to it, the fungus.
The fungus?
Yeah, that's what it is. Why would you have tea made out of it?
I know. I thought the can looked cool, so yeah. You know, I'm a sucker for that stuff, you know. If it's it looked cool, it looked like space. I didn't even read what it was till I drank it, and then it said mushroom tea. I didn't realize what I was buying.
Hey, the lovely Sherry.
Hey, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, what's up?
It's like when you buy a comic book just based on the cover, right? And then the inside's not so good.
We've all done that. Well, I guess we've all done that. Not all, but you know what I mean.
No, yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, there you go. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So I'll put the link in for Amazon if anyone wants to find Shuttlecraft Galileo slippers. Yeah, perfect for that cold winter morning. But yeah, it's probably my favorite episode. So when I saw those pop up in my feed, I was like, oh darn, I have to buy these. I can't not buy them. You know, what if they sell out or, you know, just you know, certain things you gots to have.
Well, I know it was late for Raquel and you weren't feeling that good in the first place, Raquel. So I hope you're feeling better at least, and we can start making our way out of here.
Yeah.
We've been here for been a long one, but a fun one. You guys have been fantastic tonight. We really appreciate you all. We thank you.
I didn't think Raquel was going to make it through the cloud review.
Well, yeah. It's great.
I was getting worried.
So number one, any closing words you may have for us?
Yeah, thank you so much for putting up with me tonight. I was not feeling well, and y'all cheered me up immensely. I had such a great time with you. I want to thank each and every single person who came to the chat tonight and brought their ideas, their opinions, brought their humor, you guys are just delightful. I enjoy interacting with you so much. You guys are such great conversationalists. You're so beautiful to one another. It just creates this truly magical conversation. And I just feel so honored to be a part of it. So thank you for supporting my friend's channel. And thank you for supporting this show. And a huge shout out to Lenrod and somebody who I really adore. Her name is Lisa. Thank you for your positivity and for backing his show, and that you really love and sticking up for what you like, regardless of what anyone else says. Lisa, that I absolutely adore you. And Lenrod, honey, I think it's so cool. Just don't ever give up the fight, because I love that about both of you. All you have in life is your honesty, and you can't ever compromise it. If you love something, you sure as heck need to say so. So thank you for being so brave, for being so steadfast, and for articulating why you love it so much. And we respect that immensely, and we adore you. So thank you for that. I also want to thank the Wrenches. Thank you for being here tonight and helping guide the crew, helping them with anything that they may or may not need, and for just being a part of the conversation. You guys don't get paid to do that, and yet here you are supporting one of my best friends that I've ever had in my life, as he runs this virtual comic book shop, this mini Star Trek convention every Saturday. Just thank you for that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for caring. I also want to thank my Patreon subs, folks. If you like a science fiction, if you like episodic science fiction, especially episodic science fiction that isn't involved in activism, it's just storytelling. I have a book on Amazon. It's called Science Fiction Tales. My name is R.M. Briggs. I could sure use your help there. And if you buy the book, you know, it really helps people like me, independent artists who the corporations aren't interested in, is leaving your reviews of the book, especially if you love it. But you're under no obligation, obviously. I also want to thank the folks who are backing my second book, which I hope will be out by December. 16 marvelous people from this community are backing my new book, and they get the book. They get to read all the stories before they're even fully edited, before anyone in the public sees them. And that is Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shuta, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K, and his marvelous dog. It's also my dog, Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C and his whole marvelous family, Anti-Derivative Jill, Maximum Redstone, JJ Kirk, Dabman and the Dabman Clan, and of course, Lord and Lady Thoth. Thank you so much for backing the new book. I hope you all love it. I can't wait to get it out to the public. Thanks, guys. I also want to thank Mark for being here. Mark, you're a sweetheart, and Clobby and I love being friends with you. You're a marvelous human being. And last but certainly not least, Clobby, I love you with all my heart. You're one of my best friends in the whole world. Wasn't feeling well tonight at all, and yet you cheered me up and turned my whole night around, and I even had some really good laughs and got to forget about not feeling so hot. So love you, baby. It's an honor to be here and to spend time with you, and I will never take your friendship for granted. It's been like 3 years now, and every time I have an opportunity to say it, I'm going to say it. I love you. You are a beautiful person. Mwah.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Love you. You're the best, greatest first officer ever. You've make this worth doing. This, you all, believe me, you all just bring so much to the table. All of you, and really great hanging with you. This show could not go another inch without. We're a package deal. Number one, and I will never. It's not Saturday Night Star Trek without you. So I love you, and you're the best. And can't wait for the clubhouse next week, and then Saturday Night start off after that. But before I do those show notes, our great chief engineer, who's also just a great important part of this show and the clubhouse, and a great friend of this channel for a long time, has a channel of his own. What's going on over there? Any
thank you. Well, yeah, I'm gonna file my appeal tomorrow. So it's boring inside baseball stuff, but I got to finish that video to hopefully get my channel remonetized. But if it's not, that's all right. Stuff happens. But I really appreciate all the support, everyone who's subbed and watches all my videos. I got to just tweak them so they're not, they're obviously geared towards adult collectors, and got to make sure I follow those guidelines per se. But if hopefully it'll work. If not, I'll get them in October. But yeah, really appreciate all the supporters. I've got Patreon going. You can get my Doomsday Machine over there, and kudos to Shooter and Brian Hepburn, who are Patreon supporters over there. So there's my Patreon. If you can't get a channel membership anymore, hopefully it'll come back. But you could follow, or just follow me over there. You can follow too for free. And I haven't been posting over there as much. I've been away at scout camp and focusing on getting that appeal done. But the good news is I did fix the kitchen sink today, which was out of my significant other is away, so I'm tired tonight too. But the kitchen sink was out of the kitchen today, and
that was a honeydew for sure, right?
I had to fix the faucet while I was. I'm like, I'm gonna be a dead man if I don't finish this. So thankfully, I finished it in time for Star Trek. But yeah, it's been great hanging out with you guys, and Raquel, thank you so much, and Clobbering Times, you guys have been such good friends, and Raquel, I don't know who you're talking about, but I appreciate the compliments. But
no, you're a very talented person, and I'm so upset about what's happening with your YouTube channel. It's just it's like the people who evaluated your channel have never been to a pop culture fair or a comic convention, and I really hope that the whole community rallies behind you on your YouTube and on your Patreon, because you're a very kind and sweet person. You've been such good friends to one and all. You talk about fun and cool stuff. You're just so genuine and sincere, and you certainly meant no harm. So I really hope that they realize the truth in this situation and give you back your monetization. And in the interim, I hope everyone follows your Patreon, because your Doomsday Machine is just, it's cherry, Mark. It is so cherry. That is not amateur stuff at all. It's really beautiful. And I hope everyone will go over and have a look at it.
Oh, and Larry followed me on Patreon. He's a new patron, so I apologize. I didn't get a chance to check today because I was literally fixing the kitchen sink. But thank you so much, Larry. Much appreciated.
Listen, prioritizing nice. That honeydew, I think, saved your life. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, she's coming back tomorrow. Better clean up the rest of the house. So yeah.
Yes, I think so.
But thank you so much, everyone, and catch Sunday Night Geekery. We're going to be talking probably not too much Barbie if you're interested in that, but maybe some other good stuff. And we always segue into food somehow, even though people are questioning how food talk is pop culture. It's pop culture entertainment, right? We always segue into food, so having a lot of fun doing that too. So
food is definitely pop culture, and you can tell them that I said so, because it involves an exchange of custom and exchange of music and taste and situation. And think of mezeves. You sit down to a Greek meal and you have all these beautiful little plates and you all get to share a meal. Very, very cool. And then because we get this, we're plugged into this digital world, you can go across the world and you can have a cheeseburger with somebody. It's very cool that we get to enjoy one another in this way. Certainly seeing Instagram pictures and things like that and exploring each other's culture.
Getting new ideas for cooking and
That's right. So it's wonderful.
It's a fun. I taught the scouts how to cook smoked ribs this week, and some people are like, can I have your recipe? I'm like, sure, yeah. But it's fun to pass that knowledge on, and it's it looks good, to show pictures, but it's also fun to share different things, exchange of ideas and opinions. So
imagine what people would be, imagine what the average person would be eating in 1940. Imagine what the average person would be eating in 1970. It's definitely a part of popular culture, especially in emerging multicultural nations. So just give her. My only request is that you don't gross Clobby and I out by talking about your nasty sea tongues and your nasty.
Talk about craft dinner. Pizza. How about craft dinner? Variations on craft dinner.
Just do that. Stay away from the sea tongues. Clobby and I don't want to hear it. And don't tell Clobby about your mushroom tea ever again.
I didn't realize that until I looked at the can and read the description.
Don't. Just don't.
The shrooms.
No. Just no.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yep. Lenrod's calling out for clam pizza. Yep. Yep.
May we now be excused?
Sure. Raquel and I are having fun here.
No, I mean, I don't want to.
Sorry, Captain.
I'm not trying to push anybody out the door. I was doing this for you guys, not me.
Sorry, Captain. Sorry, Captain.
I don't know. Nothing to be sorry about. I'm just saying, if you're done, I want to make sure.
I'm good. Yep.
Got in trouble. Nice job, Mark.
No, it's just
it's my fault.
You're the ones that have actually lives and shit. I don't.
Bob.
Yes, I have things to do. I don't. Oh, there you go. Hey.
Fiona gave me a new idea for a new video.
What?
Gosh.
What?
This is an episode where Voyager's attacked by clam pizza.
All right. Show notes and shout outs, folks. Are we ready?
You're cut off.
Oh my God, with the pizza.
That's the mushroom tea. Sorry.
Freaking starving over here. You're talking about goddamn pizza again. All right, everybody. Let's see here. Shout out. The show notes or something. I don't know. The Geekery, I guess, is on for tomorrow night at Mark D's channel.
Thank you.
Hang out with us and just don't show up hungry. You'll be okay. Because if you're hungry, that's not, trust me, this is not where you want to go.
Oh boy.
If you've already eaten your clam pizza or whatever, you'll be all right. Because he's going to be showing food. It's called Sunday Night Eatery. Let's just be honest. He calls it geekery. It's like a bait and switch. Yeah. This is Sunday night gluttony is what the show really is. Just saying.
If I never see another clam,
it'll be too soon.
Oh, that. See it? See.
See. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, that's C for Catwoman. Okay, so Sunday night, after I eat until I pop, so I don't get hungry again, I'll be hanging with Mark D's channel. Did be an Easter. What did you do? How'd that happen?
I don't know. You must have hit something on the keyboard.
Oh, okay. Then of course Monday night I'll be over at the great J-Man's channel, chronicling from the 3 more in our chronicles of the Legion of Superheroes from the very beginning, the Silver and the Bronze Age, and then Monday night Mark C Comics Talk. I'll probably talk. Don't tell anybody. It's a big secret. No, it's not. It'll be talking about comics. Which comics? I don't know, but comics for sure. Wednesday night wild card. And by the way, on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I hang out over there at the great Tom Connor's channel with that amazing group, Midnight's Edge After Dark, 6 p.m. Central. And Wednesdays, Loki and the gang at Loki's channel, the Comic Roundtable. And then, of course, you have my Wednesday night show, which is Wild Card Wednesday night. And then you have right here this amazing trinity, the great Commander Briggs and Chief Engineer Mark D, hanging with you at the clubhouse, reviewing some stuff.
So much fun.
Reviewing is the best place ever.
Tales of Tomorrow.
On Friday nights, hanging out with Nicholas and the gang at the Comic Shop Boys at 8:30 Central, talking, well, what do you think? Comics, of course, with a bunch of great group there. And, of course, Saturday nights, back here next week with 4 more episodes. They are called Eye of the Beneedle and Prime Collectors and Expos Pacutacto and stuff happen. There's stuff and things. The episodes are titled Stuff and Things Happen on Voyager. Those are the actual
you use the stuff and
titles.
Thing line.
The stuff and things happen.
It's the best line. The stuff and the things happen.
The bad things happen. And the stuff has the bad. Anyway, shout outs. Are we ready for some shouty outies?
Do it.
Do it. All right. We'll shout out that great wrenches first. The amazing bronze wrencher himself, the great Eric K. Buddy. I'm concerned. I hope he's okay because even though he did a poster, he did not. I don't think he popped in tonight. I saw him at a stream earlier today. So the great Chris Persia, Vindicator Wrencher, the Great White North. I hope you're okay, buddy. If I didn't see him pop in, but he may have just had something going on. But I always miss you, bud. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Avon lives, long live the Legion of the Great Lord Thoth. My partner in crime on Earth, B, fellow Legionnaire, reviewer extraordinaire, and then the Wrench Without Fear, the Great J-Man. Hungry Boy. Didn't see him here tonight either. Hope he's okay. Master of the Club Money. Stephen Cal-El, Super Wrench Supreme. Maddie's daddy, Thor in Vegas, Wheeler Vince Mjolnir, Fanty Outsidey, who might exist, he might not. Even if he does, he doesn't because he does. And also not here tonight, but we missed him, our own music Meister, Max Presto. Now, how about we shout out some of our wonderful peeps who are here with us in the chat. I'll do this very quickly for you all. Let's see here. Naturally, of course, the great Mark D with us, the chief engineer. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge. Shooter. Raymond and Sandra Feliciano, King Dolphin TV in color. Michael Beacom, thanks, buddy, for all you do. And, of course, shout out to the wonderful Cassandra. Smilex, Classic Comics. Penny. I know Penny had to run. It's okay. Simply Steve, buddy. Bubba Doom 1, my friend. Sean Carter from Mars. Mr. Angel, Chef. Paul Listro. SP4H. Apollome's Minion. Shout out to the pupper. Turing Machine. Cardinal Sand, buddy. Thank you. Victor Fontaine. All right, my friend Lindrod. Lovely Lisa. Parker Luck. JT Kerr. Kira. Kirk. Fiona M. Hey, Fiona. And they call them Scuba Pete. FKH4H. Fairfax, friend. Always get it confused. Sorry, buddy. Keely Chow, Roll That Tide. Sander Hammerslag. Jeff Morris. Rob Altus. Kibasabi. Zaswas. Warrior of Justice. Robert Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mark Lesurth. Bush Pan Down. Larry. All right, buddy. Always glad to see you out there, my friend. Ray Lucar. Dad Man in the Dad Man Clan. What's up, brother? How you doing? Captain Infinity and Beyond. Thanks for the time policing. Timicus Maximus. Maximus, it is. Wolfie. Westward Smile. The lovely, beautiful Six. Claude Selling. The AI Show. Matt J. Admiral T. Admiral. Priest 1984. Thank you, my friend. Salty Traveling Sea. Thank you, buddy. DJ Ronnie G. Good to see you, bud. Scott Knudsen. Thank you so much for being here and your contributions. Thank you so much. Thank you all for the contributions. Really appreciate it. Carlos Megas. Mega Cropper. Das Wolfen. Glenn Barnett. Gil James Bavel, that doppelganger. And, of course, the lovely Sherry. And, of course, anyone who's lurking or watches this later on a download or repeat, I know our good buddy, shout out to him, and shout out to our great friend Enigmatic Dropbear, who couldn't make it on live, but we'll try to watch it later.
You were missed, Dee.
Yes, absolutely missed. Love you, buddy. Love you all. And now, my friends, have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. Trek on and clobber on, my buddies. See you next time.
It's clobbering time! I just love clobbering time!